Throwback to last year when I made a snowman and it started to melt but refroze overnight. In 1993, Tupac received a letter from the parents of a dying boy named Joshua. They said it was Joshua's last wish to meet Tupac. Tupac flew to Maryland to meet Joshua and took him to a basketball game. Soon after Joshua's death, Tupac renamed his publishing company from Ghetto Gospel Music to Joshua's Dream. When you open the spaghetti sauce jar on the first try. So when I was a kid I had a Raggedy Ann doll given to me by my grandmother. It had my birth name embroidered into a heart on its chest. This Christmas my grandmother borrowed it and gave it back now with pants, shorter hair and my new name sewn in place. He's trans like me. Me, you call yourself a friend but where were you when my selfie had only 4 likes? Him, creating 4 accounts. Me, bro. Him, bro. When your best friend's parents say you're not a guest anymore your family. I would never vaccinate my kids. That is unnatural, dangerous, pointless, expensive, reckless and harmful. I take my kids to the doctor so they can vaccinate them instead. In heaven there's a black and white dog taking care of 7 golden lab puppies. Daisy the dog lost all 7 of her puppies in a barn fire at the end of February and wasn't the same afterwards, spending most of her days going to the remains of the barn to look for them. Her owner posted a desperate appeal on Facebook asking if anyone had puppies she could foster. The next day an owner of 8 orphaned puppies contacted her and Daisy took to caring for them straight away. I work from home and my golden comes in my office every day around noon to remind me that it's time for a lunch break. I got a random FaceTime call just now. Answered. It was a baby. He was playing on his mom's phone and was typing numbers and called me. Made my night honestly. Dude from Comcast fell asleep during my install and I deadass let him sleep because bro needed it. That feel when someone calls you their friend for the first time. Me, I have a lot of mental illnesses, dating me might get difficult. Partner, it's okay, I love you just how you are. Me, shows symptoms. Partner, still loves me. Me. I got catcalled today. So I get home right. My phone goes off and the caller ID shows it's my manager. I'm not entirely happy about this. See, I literally just got home. I answer anyway and there's some weird static. I can't get my manager to answer me and I start to worry. I text her instead. Her cat was fucking sitting on her phone and butt dialed me. The static I hear was him purring. The only kind of cat calling that's acceptable, quite frankly. Me, hey, monster under bed. Me, there's room up here for both of us. Monster. Me, you can be Big Spoon. Monster. Okay. I'm marrying the boy from my 9th grade PE class in 6 weeks. I fell in love with his smile. Still in love with it 8 years later. My 79-year-old grandma has a meme framed. C, C+, 2B-. You really did it, son. You set realistic goals and you reached them. Way to go. What's wrong? I'm depressed. Thanks. Look, I'm your present. And my future. Me, ha ha ha, I must be annoying you so much right now. Them, actually no, I enjoy your company and appreciate you as a friend. Me. I miss the internet. Thank you. Tonight my abuelita whispered, I want to show you the most beautiful girl in the world, solemnly leading me to a table packed with old family photos. With one shaky finger she pointed slowly to a photo of herself. This is the energy I'm carrying with me into the new year. My marriage has turned into a nightly routine of my wife and I running down the list of reasons we should go to bed early so we can wake up and get shit done the next day. Then by the 675th cat gif on Reddit we both yell, how the fuck is it 3 AM? Worth it. I love her. Put all the cuddles in the f***ing bag. The father, Mr. Rogers, be kind to others. The son, Steve Irwin, be kind to animals. He, Holy Spirit, Bob Ross, the kind to yourself. 10-year-old me playing with Legos. My dad. Two all-knowing beings could never have a meaningful conversation. Being one knows how much being two loves conversations and so decided to pretend to not know everything to make being two happy. Of course being two knows being one is faking but is happy because he knows that being one is such a bro. After 9/11 the Maasai people in a Kenyan village gave 14 cows to help and support the United States. Guys with feet like this have 125% chance of stealing your girl. Welcome to heaven, let me just raise your collar a bit. Their process is easy with dogs, I mean you are practically angels to begin with. While sailing in the Mediterranean Sea in 1962 the American aircraft carrier USS Independence CV-62 flashed the Italian Amerigo Vespucci with light signal asking, "Who are you?" The full rigged ship answered, "Training ship Amerigo Vespucci, Italian Navy." The US ship replied, "You are the most beautiful ship in the world." My dad noticed I was stressed so he 3D printed me a little wooden elephant. This is good. We got worried when you stopped coming to the park. Moral, whomever you're important to, will look for you. Good night, doggo. Most days I wanna kill myself but then I realize I'll let down my one follower who is Viralism. Viral isn't support. Always here for ya bud. Wraps dog's gifts in front of her. My dog on Christmas. When I was at the lake there was a group of college guys jumping off a cliff and they were all giving this one dude in their group crap for wearing a life jacket when no one else had one on and he goes, "Quit it, I pinky promised my girl I would wear it," and I think about that a lot. One awesome thing about Eeyore is that even though he is basically clinically depressed he still gets invited to participate in adventures and shenanigans with all of his friends, and they never expect him to pretend to feel happy, they just love him anyway and they never leave him behind or ask him to change. Somebody asked their grandma to pose for this meme, and she did a great job. It fell a long time ago but it never gave up. Bertie the Pomeranian on Instagram has a Paddington Bear costume and everyone needs to experience the pure joy I felt when I saw the picture. Soundproof walls. I can yell anything I want, no one can hear me. Gene muffled. I love my family. Gene being wholesome. Look mom. Both hands. Jeremy. That was dope. Feel free to talk to me and my son whenever you'd like. Friend, can you come over? Me, I'm a bit busy. Friend, I'm feeling really down and lonely right now and could use a friend. Me, shit bro, that's all you had to say. She wants me to take a picture of her so I grabbed my camera and instead of saying 1 2 3 smile I told her I love you and her smile is prettier compared to her other smile. Burglar, where do you keep your valuables? Me, in my closet. Burglar opens closet. It's just a picture of me. Me, your valuable bro. Burglar tearing up, bro. Making a meme that helps even one person feel good about themselves because someone's meme made me feel good about myself. Things you don't need to apologize for. Taking care of yourself. Cutting off toxic relationships. Saying no. The way you look. Feeling your feelings. Giving him a positive role model. What will the new year bring us? 365 opportunities. Santa didn't forget your gift, did he? Every year I ask for the same gift and every year I get it. What's that? Your happiness. What's the nicest thing someone has ever done for you? Quit their job so they could raise me. Thanks mom, you didn't have to. Dog escapes home, walks 20 blocks to hospital to find donor recovering from cancer surgery. What did humans do to deserve dogs? I was gonna say some dumbass shit but then Google hit me with the feels. Feels Goodman. Knock knock. Who's there? I hope it's you, because you're the best. Who needs a picture of my cat napping with a sweet potato in a salad bowl this morning? Customer with a full shopping cart in front of me. You go first. Me with only 2 items. This photo reminds me of a story about my great aunt. A guy came into her house when she was there and she saw him, and instead of being scared or whatever, she invited him to sit down for a cup of tea and he said yes. And she told him that he shouldn't be breaking into people's homes and stealing things and he should be ashamed. And he cried and she comforted him. And then he left, and the next day the guy's mother rang her and thanked her because what she said actually helped him to see how bad of a person he was becoming. A real life female IRO. I respect you. Boss. Me. Everything okay sir, may I help you? Awesome old man. I'm fine, just waiting for my wife to come out so I can spook her. I'm just trying to make it a little easier for her to breathe. Who? Martin Luther King Jr. was on June 18, 1964 placed in a police car in St. Augustine, Florida. A German Shepherd police dog was then put into the car with him in an apparent attempt to intimidate. Instead, King and the dog promptly became friends. My parents denied me vaccinations as a child. Today I was finally able to take my health into my own hands. Restoration 100. Hero bad saves guy from $300 fine. Millennials are buying homes because of their dogs, not their children or marriages. They want a better yard for their best friend. And I'm proud of y'all. When you ask a question in class and the professor says that's a great question. Polite elephant crosses multiple farms on her voyage without damaging a single fence. This is 100% the kind of content I like to see. Look at that log. Go on, take a gander. Turn it over, and you might find a friendly salamander. Unpopular opinion. Not all dogs are good boys. Blocked. Sometimes. They are good girls. Unblocked. Don't worry fish, I'm gonna take care of you cause I know one day you'll do the same for me. I don't care what it costs, just make this man well again. My dad always found rubber ducks while on walks and hid them around for his version of good luck. He passed 4 years ago and we thought we found them all. Tonight I opened the backseat cup holder of my car for apparently the first time in a while. Dad, you genius jerk. To all dogs laying down, will you please just stay laying down even if I get up? I swear I'm not doing anything important and I'll be right back, and you look so cozy. I love you and I just want you to be happy. Mom, can you stop putting your shoe on the dog? Me. First off, it's Crocs, not a shoe, and second off, it's his crown. We have to follow his command now. When you've done nothing but eat junk food all day but your mum says you're still her cute little munchkin. Tell me your best riddles and I will try to answer them. Where did my dad go? I dunno, but I know where your mom was last night. She was putting up missing posters of your dad. Hope you find him. They had us in the first half, not gonna lie. Just in case you were having a bad day, look how happy this raccoon is with his stuffed raccoon. The moment my dog and husband realized I was in the car beside him. Or I feel terrible, I didn't get you anything. Oh wait, yes I did. How she thinks she looks versus how I think she looks. When you're telling your grandparents about your job and they have no clue what you're talking about but they're supportive. Lol, that's us. Love you. Grandpa is still to figure it out. What a hoot. People who have been in a coma. What was your perception of time while in it? I was in a coma for a week after surgery. To me it was instant. The odd part, my mom talked to me while I was in the coma and I remember the things she said. She talked about raising me, the funny things I did, etc. When my mom passed away in 2007, she fell asleep first. We knew she wouldn't wake up again. So I talked to her about how amazing she was as a mom. I talked for hours, until she took her last breath. I hope she heard me. I wasn't always a good son. You really about to make me cry right now, how dare you. All aboard the Feels train. Choo choo. My favorite haunted house experience was when a werewolf, after growling in our faces and effectively freaking out my siblings, stepped on my shoe and he said, in the softest voice imaginable, "Oh sorry." Waddito is the best Pokemon. Crooked smile, barely any eyes, body made of gum, no arms, still trying to give you a hug regardless. Literally something as simple as a butterfly floating with the wind. Dogs, happiness noise. Find someone who loves you so much they eat with a picture of you after you're not around anymore. Having a conversation with my grandma with Alzheimer's. Me, it was nice seeing you. Grandma, it was nice remembering you. Me, you remember me. Grandma, I don't remember your name, but I remember that I love you. Loneliest frog in the world who spent a decade in isolation finds a mate. Wednesday. Married couple in China discover they appeared in same photograph as teenagers. The way this world works is beyond me. Dog saves owner's life by lying on him for 24 hours in the freezing cold. A Michigan man who slipped and broke his neck outdoors in freezing conditions survived lying in snow for nearly 24 hours thanks to his dog, who kept him warm through the night and barked for help. When you stop telling a story because no one was listening but then that one friend says, "What were you saying?" and you get to finish. Today this little 3-year-old tried to pay for her family's dinner with a Barbie credit card. I took the card and made her a little checkout to make it seem like she did. And she tipped me $3. My son stopped playing Fortnite and asked me if I wanted to play Minecraft survival mode together and it meant the world to me. Just drove past a little boy with a lemonade stand. I wasn't going to stop but he looked at me and deadass started miming himself throwing a lasso at my car and pulling me in. I didn't have a choice. It's a lawless land out here in the west but now I have lemonade. Imagine waking up for an 8 AM class and this is what you walk in and see. He got up extra early to make a holiday class a little fun. Be nice and respect what he's doing. You know when dogs sit outside with their face in the sun while they close their eyes and when you pet them they're all warm. That's how I wanna feel always. Little girl mistakes water heater for robot, welcomes it to earth, hugs it, is great. My mental health. Older black lady at the post office who calls me sugar. Canadian air traffic controllers send pizza to US controllers working through the shutdown. There's a man in Florida who owns a cleaning service and spends his free time in cemeteries restoring the long neglected tombstones of veterans. Before. After. Missing dog. I miss my dog. He's not lost or anything, he's just at home. And I'm here at school. Enjoy the picture of him though. Hey, here's your ball bag. Oh no. Don't worry, I'll get it. Humans are so clumsy. When I was a freshman in high school there was a boy named Chris, who was a senior who had autism and he really loved Hot Wheels. He always wanted to show people his tiny cars and instead of the popular crowd making fun of him they got excited with him. On his birthday everyone bought him Hot Wheels and he went home with a backpack full of them. For homecoming they voted him king and gave him a cape with Hot Wheels on it. Sometimes high school isn't so bad. Lies I have told. I always tell people that my cat doesn't really like people that much, even though she is really cuddly, so they feel special when she cuddles them. You are the best person. A penis. H. 8. So I'm having a pretty rough day. I'm walking down the street to the lunch trucks, with probably a big frown in my face, and there's an old man ahead with a cane. He says to me, "Nice umbrella," is quiet for a second and lifts his cane and says, "Want to have a sword fight?" We dueled for a few minutes and he taught me some fencing moves. Turns out he was a fencer for about 15 years. After we were done he told me, "Hope I made your day better," and walked away. Thank you old man, mission accomplished. Can we please talk about the experiment who just made sandwiches throughout the entire series on Lilo and Stitch? Look at him. Friendly reminder that Rube had the same powers and strength as Stitch but had a higher intelligence resulting in him being able to speak perfectly, but instead of being obsessed with destroying cities, only cared about making sandwiches. Best invention ever. Canine Kaya has become the first police pitbull in the state of New York. Or 3-year-old cancer survivor served as a flower girl in her bone marrow donor's wedding. Now this is the news I want to see on my timeline. Dad trying to teach me anything. Me. If you know me, you know how much I love my hair, but I love my dad more. You got this, homie. Dude in front of me just slept through the entire physics exam, LMAO. Baby in public transport exists, me. Mr. Rogers always mentioned out loud that he was feeding his fish because a young blind viewer asked him to do so. She wanted to make sure the fish were okay. I'm sad and ugly. Hey human. Touch me. Until you're only ugly. I just saw a dad get out of the car with his 2 young boys and he yells, "Who can go hug mom the fastest?" And all of them started running toward their house. That's the kind of future I want. Meet Maya. She's incredibly deadly. Will rip your whole hacking arm off. Always feels guilty afterwards though. 12 out of 10 would forgive immediately. I texted my mom that I was having a hard week, and she called and sang "You Are My Sunshine" to me even though her whole office could hear her. I don't deserve her. What question sounds dumb but is actually hard to answer? Why did my wife leave me? So you could find someone better. We got worried when you stopped coming to the park. I babysit for a girl who used to think her mom's name was My Love because her dad said it so often to her, and that's just freaking cute. I can't. I made an old lady blush today at work because she ordered 2 senior coffees and I said, "Senior, I'm sorry miss, I'm going to have to ask to see some ID." And she covered her mouth and went, "Oh dear me," and couldn't stop smiling. My kitten keeps bringing us leaves she caught in the garden as presents. Today she was especially proud of this very big one. 3 years ago today I was taken into a psychiatric ward for the first time. I was lost, hopeless, consumed by the idea of ending my life. Today I walk into a psychiatric ward as a student mental health nurse for my first day of placement. Things change. They don't stay hard forever. This woman ran 19 miles of marathon carrying a lost puppy. When no one claimed it after the race, she adopted him. Standing in life for photo night behind a dad who's trying to explain Alzheimer's to his son. Boy, but grandma forgot me. Dad, remember Dory? She forgot things to write. Boy, yes. Dad, but did that mean she loved Nemo any less? Boy, beaming. No. My organs watching me drink water. For the past year a very nice man has been standing on the bridge that's on my way to work with a sign saying he was having a hard time and could use a hand. Today this is what it read. "My last week out here, I got a job. Thank you to everyone who has helped me during this hard time." This old lady often goes to the supermarket to read books. So the manager put a little bench there for her. Bonsai apple tree growing a full-sized apple. A perfect balance of extremely impressive and completely ridiculous. Apple trees are determined. My parents planted a twig of an apple tree and that first year it grew 1 apple, and the whole thing was bent over from the weight of it. It had one job and by God it was gonna do it. I found a really good stick, but I chewed it too hard, and it broke in half, which was disappointing until I realized, now I have 2 sticks. Today has been an emotional roller coaster. We should have a holiday called Space Day where all lights around the world are shut off for the whole night to reduce light pollution so we can see the galaxy. Are you cold? A little bit. Hello. Yes, I would like to science please. This makes me want to get a PhD instead of a master's, but I would be almost 40 by the time I finished. You'll be 40 anyways. This pit bull wouldn't leave the shelter without the chihuahua he was protecting, so the owner adopted both. Teddy bears. Protecting innocent children from monsters under the bed since 1902. Me name is dog. Ireland grey. Still eat me greens. Each every day. I can't eat chip. I can't eat chalk. But it okay. I munch the brock. I'm old. This truck is old. We are not as quick as we used to be. Have some patience and a nice day. I love old ladies. I'm at the bus stop and these 2 very old ladies suddenly recognize each other and very sincerely one goes, "Holy shit, you're still alive." And the other says, "I'm gonna outlive my husband if it kills me." Woman finds out blood donor who saved her life 11 years ago turned out to be her husband. This little girl thought a bride she saw on the street was the princess from her book and I'm crying. When you and your friend have completely different interests and personalities but still love and respect each other. She guessed my favorite color first try, but between me and you, I didn't even have a favorite color until she yelled out yellow. She was hella excited and smiling like a little kid, so I told her she was right and I haven't seen yellow the same since. It's in everything. I could probably live in it now. 4 months ago I lost Kuta, my best pal and companion of almost 17 years. Finally got myself to a mental place that I'm ready for another. Welcome Sasha. Adopted her yesterday, just 9 weeks old. She has same grey hair and scruffy hairstyle as her new papa. Rescue dog drags its blanket over to homeless dogs so they can share it on a chilly night. The dog who never forgot how tough it is on the streets. I spent my last £500 on this billboard. Please give me a job. Employadam.com. I spent my first wage pocket on this billboard. Thank you for helping me. Just because you don't look like somebody who you think is attractive doesn't mean you aren't attractive. Flowers are pretty but so are Christmas lights and they look nothing alike. When someone I admire gives me a genuine compliment. Maggie got a growth removed today and this is what my dad sent me. She's a martini. Hey Twitter, I met this girl on a dinner cruise in Hawaii in 2006. We were basically best friends for that night so I need y'all to help me find my best friend cause I miss her and I need to see how she's doing now. Please retweet this so we can be reunited. This is crazy. Domino's pizza lover Kirk Alexander 47 life was saved by staff after they grew concerned as he hadn't ordered food in 11 days. A co-worker who isn't here yet just got 21 flower bouquets delivered, and instead of the girls looking and talking shit they are organizing them to look perfect for her. I'm melting. Using the Drake format. Using this dog format because he is a good boy. My grandpa got bitten by a spider and he was really upset so I went to get some cream but before I could leave the room I heard him say, "At this age I can't handle the responsibility of being a Spider-Man." Just drove a guy home from a bar and for the whole 15 minutes he talked about how excited he was to see his wife. I was having a really bad morning until this baby reached out at me and smiled. Shout out to this baby for being amazing. How can people say cats don't have feelings? Like, when my cat got deadly sick she refused to eat a single thing and it had been days but when I started crying she ate just a little bit and upon seeing how happy it made me kept doing it whenever she could. Now whenever I'm sad or crying she finds wherever I'm with a mouthful of food and eats the pieces one by one. Every time looking up at me making sure I was watching her eat it all because she knew it made me happy, and it does make me happy. I love cats. Sobs. Met this sweet man at Outback. He saw us at prom and showed us a picture of him and wife at prom in 1949. How much do you guys earn a month? I'm asking so I can try to price my tickets as low as I can. Honestly this is maybe the nicest and most sincere thing I have ever seen a celebrity do. I told him I wouldn't throw the stick because playtime was over. Throw the stick you monster. I shouted at my kitty today for being naughty. 5 minutes later I find my other kitty comforting her and glaring at me. The giant panda is no longer an endangered species. Restoration 100. Such a wonderful month at the shelter. We are now empty. Everyone got adopted. Man gets cancer on cancerous growth, killing the growth and ending his cancer. It hurt itself in its confusion. When I cook for multiple people and serve myself the worst piece cause it was my fuck up and I want my friends to enjoy themselves. Every day I stare out the windows at a cat in someone's apartment. Weeks ago Miles and I asked what its name was. Today they obliged and we've never been happier. Marshall. Walked into the shelter and asked which cat had been there the longest. came home with a deaf toothless senior love bug. Never forget the time Tom thought he killed Jerry and how he tried to save the one thing he hated most. So they brought an ice cream truck to school and the ice cream man saw my hair and was like, "Oh, I have something for you," and gave me this. Girl took cardboard cutout of Danny DeVito to prom, so he took her cutout to Paddy's pub. The world's happiest criminal. This 99-year-old true crime fan had always dreamed of being arrested. When the Dutch police found out that it was on her bucket list, they picked her up, handcuffed her and threw her in the slammer. She enjoyed every minute of it. Let's leave it there. As long as you're learning, you're not failing. So there's this boy running around in a Superman outfit yelling, "I just beat cancer." Feel good times ensue. This goose used her wings to protect an abandoned puppy from the cold. The puppy was shivering, so she folded her wings around this baby and moved him closer to her so he could benefit from her body warmth. Puppy stopped shivering and went to sleep. They recreated their wedding photos 70 years later. I'm crying. I asked my dad if I have ever made him cry in front of me before because I don't remember ever seeing him cry. He said once. He told me that when I was 3 years old he laid out a pen, a dollar and a toy of some sort in front of me. He wanted to see which one I would pick. I think that a lot of Chinese people do that. It represents what you'll value most when you grow up. Like the pen is intelligence, money is money, and the toy is fun. He was just doing it out of curiosity and boredom. It was interesting for him to see which one I'd pick anyway. He said that I just sat there and stared at the items. He sat across from me and waited patiently. According to him, I crawled towards them, he held his breath, and I pushed everything aside and went right into his arms. He didn't realize that he was one of the choices, and that was the first and the only time I made him cry. I'm on the 5th floor and my window is open and someone outside sneezed. So I shouted "bless you" out the window and he said, "Thank you, building." Breaks my heart that pirates spend their whole lives following a map, when the real treasure is the friendships they build along the way. This sort of thing is why I still have faith in humanity. World War II veteran gets more than 100,000 birthday cards after daughter's plea. You're only as happy as you choose to be, a saying that holds true for one and all, and I'm sure this selfie deserves more likes than most. Hey Pizza Hut, would you consider donating a load of pizzas to your local homeless community every night this week? Done. I murdered a rich guy in Red Dead Redemption 2 who slapped his expensive horse across the face after he lost to me in a race. His horse is now my main horse and she gets all the pats and sugar cubes in the world. I'm feeling good about my cowboy life choices. Me, I'm leaving for my trip tomorrow. 7-year-old, no, who will hug me? Me, Papa will hug you. 7-year-old, it's not the same. 9-year-old, yeah, but Papa will let us play who let the dogs out as much as we want and give us pizza every day. 7-year-old. Mama, can you leave today? When the government shutdown finally ends and the FBI agent in your phone gets paid again. Whenever I'm sad, I just imagine a bunch of tiny versions of myself working inside of my body that sing and push blood cells around and have romantic encounters and have sword fights with bacteria and have so much fun keeping me alive. I gotta take care of myself for the tiny people inside of me. Thank you, little friends. I've met countless children in hospitals over the years and this little guy was one of the best. His name is Oscar. I loved the fact that despite not having the slightest idea of who I was, he took the time to give me a checkup and make sure I was feeling okay. Throwback Thursday to Clifford's first Halloween. My heart. God, he's so teeny. This is Coco, a gorilla who is reportedly able to correctly use 1,000 words in American Sign Language and understand more than 2,000 English words. She is an avid Mr. Rogers fan and was taken to meet him in 1998. When they met, she embraced him and did what she'd watched him do on screen so often. She took his shoes off. Not every child will grow up to be a doctor or a lawyer. Teach kids it's okay to work with your hands and build cool stuff. I had a boy stop by my house after Halloween. He knocked on my door and asked if I had leftover Halloween candy. The kids all know I give full-size candy bars. At first I was shocked about the request and then I realized he was hungry, so I gave him some. I went out later and bought some muffins and apples. Each morning my buddy stops by my house and gets breakfast. Sometimes he requests a little more because he's hungry. It makes me proud my buddy trusts me enough to let me know he needs more. I hold hands with every girlfriend as she talks about her day. Before my mum passed away, she gave my dad strict instructions to water the plants in the bathroom. He's been religiously watering them and keeping them alive. They look so amazing he decided to take them to his new home, only to discover they are plastic. Can hear my mum chuckling. Not the heroes we deserve, but the heroes we need. 1.5 million volunteers plant 66 million trees in 12 hours, breaking Guinness World Record. Reasons why my grandpa is the best. He made my wife and I'm a woman, a giant banner for our 1-year anniversary. When I was pregnant the baby was kicking and when he touched my belly the baby stopped and he called him a little shit. He once called and left a voicemail asking how to spell styrofoam. He flipped a table because he saw someone hit a dog. He beat Skyrim in 4 days. He served in the Korean War and when he came home he learned Korean, so if he ever ran into a Korean vet he could give them the same respect he'd give an American vet. My son has 2 moms and there was a special guy in your life day at his school for Father's Day, so my grandpa went and showed up in dress pants and a pressed shirt because he didn't want to embarrass him. Also there was a little boy who didn't have anyone there and grandpa asked if he could be his special guy and the little boy beamed. He knows all of the secrets to the Zelda games. He's had 4 open heart surgeries and can still kick your ass. Spent 7 years in special education, graduating with a 1.8 GPA. A teacher said I wasn't going to college. Now I'm a VCU grad and best-selling author. Dating a boy bigger than you. His hoodies will look cute and oversized on you. Dating a boy your size. You can share hoodies and they will fit and look nice. Dating a boy smaller than you. Your hoodies will look cute and oversized on him. Conclusion. All boy sizes are cute and good. Me, thinking about suicide. Stanley from heaven, don't make me come down there you punk. Good ghost is good. At 17 I had my first child. My girlfriend got killed in a drive-by. At 18 I had a daughter and my second girlfriend died of cancer, but I'm still strong. 19 to kids with 2 jobs in college. Will never give up. So this morning I made my chickens tiny pancakes because I love them and they is good chickens. Skinny girls. Chubby girls. Girls that criticize other girls. We are living in an apartment as we renovate our house. Congratulations on that, by the way. Is it like your dream home? I mean, my wife's gonna be living there, so yeah. There's a special place in heaven for the teachers who make study guides that are exactly like the test. Ohio dad booked 6 flights just to join flight attendant daughter during her Christmas shifts. Every year tourists throw approximately 1.1 million euros into the Trevi fountain in Rome. The city uses them to fund a supermarket for the needy. Yeah, sex is cool, but have you ever woke up from a dream and went back to sleep and the dream picked up where it left off? She looks so sweet, but today a woman asked her what her name was and she replied butt cracks. So I love that we set aside one day a year to gather in stadiums and living rooms across the nation and celebrate Super Bowls. Chicago, I need 10 volunteers to help me shovel for seniors tomorrow. I'm getting too many emails from elderly folks that need help. Meet me at the 79th Street Red Line stop at 10 AM tomorrow. I got hoodies, hats and lunch for anybody that comes through. In 1866 Liechtenstein sent out an army of 80 men to participate in the Austro-Prussian War. They came back with 81 men, suffering no casualties and having made 1 friend along the way. Restoration 100. Luring my drunk friends home. You want this? Get in the fucking Uber. I think we should appreciate beekeepers more for the job that they do. They protect our ecosystem and without them we would all starve to death. I just made this meme to give them some appreciation. I hope that's okay. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Lost dogs return home after owners cook sausages near where they went missing. This man stopped just to teach a young man how to do his tie for his first day of work. I once met a guy who I really liked, but he didn't read. He could read, he just didn't. He couldn't find any enjoyment in books and it devastated me. He appreciated my attempts at finding a genre he might like as he loved stories but could never enjoy books. Then I met his mother who was blind. When he was little she couldn't read stories to him, so she would make them up. He never developed an appreciation for books because she couldn't give him that. It absolutely devastated me to realize that that was an aspect of childhood that he could never know, and for good reason. I finally found a book he loved, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. The first thing he did with it, he read it to his mother. The dust storm was exhausting. My solar panels are covered in Martian dust, and I feel so sleepy. I don't think I can go on, but that's okay. I'll just nap here until you guys come and get me. I know you will make it. You know what's depressing? Starting the same sentence over and over again cause no one is listening and then just dropping it because obviously it doesn't matter. If I see this happen I ignore everyone else and start a loud conversation with the person so everyone else joins in. That feeling is awful and I will not stand seeing someone else go through it if I'm there. Oh my god, I adopted this cat as a kitten in 2007 when I was 8 years old. In 2012 my dad decided he didn't want the cat anymore so he left him all alone in the middle of a forest like a totally responsible adult would do and tried telling my sister and he ran away. Today 10 years later I walked into an animal shelter on a whim and I found my cat. Guess who is coming back home to finally get the love he deserves with my sister and I. One of my absolute favorite things. After a PhD student finishes their dissertation defense and the committee discusses while the student is outside the room. I love opening the door to bring the student back in and simply saying, "Doctor," 17 times and counting. I just saw a man pick up and carry 2 golden retrievers, large ones, one on each shoulder. He was saying, "You always do this. You said you wanted to go for a walk," as he picked them up. Tonight on Aberrell threw a pizza party for all the people on our block. He is 95 years old and is the sweetest, most caring person I've ever met. Though his wife has passed and his kid and grandkids are grown, he never stops making an effort to love people. Andrew and I have gone out to dinner with him a number of times and Early always tells us he can be our next door grandpa. I've never had a better neighbor. I hope to be half as giving, caring and amazing as him in my lifetime. Me. Houseplant. Me. Houseplant. Me. Houseplant. Me. Oh my god, opened my nan's laptop and when she's googled something she's put please and thank you. I can't. Please translate these Roman numerals, thank you. Dearest Ben's nan, hope you're well. In a world of billions of searches yours made us smile. Oh, and it's 1998. Thank you. I put some action figures on eBay. I'm on board too, but not the other 28 I had. She messaged to say her autistic son was excited to get them. She wished she could have bought more. I sent her all 30 of them. Got a phone call. She thanked me and cried. We are all friends to this day. I think Minecraft is better than Fortnite because Fortnite is a shooting killing game and I don't like killing people. Minecraft is more peaceful than Fortnite. Me, grows 0.1 millimeters. Grandma, I've never met this man in my life. Sharks don't infest waters, they live there. Oh, a lucky penny. Ha 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 ha. Sir, your bottom is amazing. Mark Bustus works full-time at a boutique salon where prices start at $150. On Sunday, his only day off, Mark goes out onto the streets of New York City and gives free haircuts to the homeless. My grandpa owns an onion farm and occasionally decides to take a nap in the middle of the field. Whatevs, he wins at life. Last night it was cold and windy and when I opened my door this cricket hopped in, so I set him up good for the night. Little pot of water, pickle and Swiss cheese, left AirPod with Frank Ocean playing. This morning I let him go and he hopped away happily. I miss him and hope he's good. Life pro tip. Pretend to be afraid of the vet so they give you more treats. Hee. Elephants' brains react to humans the same way that humans' brain react to puppies. They think we are cute. My life has had no greater joy than knowing elephants think I'm cute. James Harrison 81 making his last blood donation on Friday in Sydney, Australia. His blood contains a rare antibody used in a medication that officials say has helped save the lives of more than 2 million babies. Australia's oldest man 109 knits tiny sweaters for injured penguins. I went through the Chick-fil-A drive-thru bawling and the girl asked me if I wanted a chocolate or vanilla milkshake. And I was like, no, I ordered a sweet tea, and she goes, no honey, you need a milkshake. Service unmatched. I think the day I realized I was getting better with my depression was the day I was making cookies and humming some words to a Disney song and the conversation in the living room stopped, and then I heard my mom sniff and very shakily whisper to my grandma, she's singing again. No war. They make a compelling argument. Be me. Right now. Cuddling with Doggo. I'm happy. Thank you, Doggo. Nobody dared go near the tower. A fearsome dragon sat on its top. Until one day a knight rode up. Do you need help to get down? Please. Got your man's best friend. Dog. Okay. And women's best friend. Yay. And children's best friend. Or. And my best friend. Puts paw on God's knee. Always. Got. I'm gonna miss you. Dog. I'll be back when they don't need me anymore. Teddy bears always have their eyes open. To protect you from demons at night. Try me, bitch. Holy shiz, Chad was right. My upstairs neighbor stopped me and said, hey man, I've been hearing you play music late at night, and you sound great. You're the first person to live there that plays well. When I lay down to sleep and hear your singing, it helps me sleep. Interesting fact about Dodge. She was freed from a puppy mill and was slated to be euthanized before she was adopted by Mrs. Sato, a Japanese kindergarten teacher. They named her Kabosu after the Japanese citrus fruit because her face is very round like kabosu. Current emotion. Dogs who are stuck but pretending everything is fine. Today it started raining and a tiny stray puppy used me as an umbrella. How to parent a princess. I get why a lot of people hate the whole princess culture aimed at little girls. There's a hell of a lot of toxic bullshit in there. But when I was a tiny princess, my dad used to be my royal advisor. He would come to me and over tea we would discuss the problems of the kingdom. He would tell me that new people wanted to move to the kingdom and ask me what we should do. Or he would tell me that the teddy bears and the dolls were fighting over the enchanted forest and ask me what to do. Basically, he took the trappings of the princess culture and used it as a tool to teach me about leadership, civic responsibility and compassion. So if you have a little princess around, consider helping her figure out how to run her kingdom. There's no sense in telling a kid they can't be a leader or that they can't wear sparkles while they do it. A baby was staring at me in Target, so I started waving to her and she waved back, and the mom whipped around and was like, oh my god. And I was like, oh sorry, I was just waving to your baby. And she was like, that was the first time she waved. And me and this mom screamed in the store because we were so excited. Last night I FaceTimed the wrong number and this ginger picked up. Ended up chatting for 30 minutes. He was actually chill as fuck. When you work for 15 years instead of just 90 days, it ain't much, but it's honest work. Be me. Be loser who drives a delivery van all day. Work is fucking boring as fuck. Get new puppy. Puppy is sad when I go to work. Have idea, I will take puppy to work with me. Next day put puppy in van. Puppy sits shotgun all day, does not piss or poop in cab. Take puppy to park during lunch break. Puppy waits patiently while I make deliveries. Drive home. Realize work was fun with my little puppy buddy. Have never had this much enjoyment of work. Thank you, puppy. When your mom didn't vaccinate you as a puppy. Older people of Reddit, what's something trending among younger people that you also like? Yeet. I don't know what it is, but that word just makes me laugh. I'll be 48 this year and hopefully still have many years before I yeet the f*** off this mortal coil. Describe your ideal work environment. Isn't it wild that every version of you probably exists still somewhere in someone's memory? The messy you crying on the floor exists still. The happy sun-soaked you exists in your best friend's memory. No part of you has died. All parts of us exist always, simultaneously and hidden. Me. Life goals. A fun trampoline that's going to bounce me to my life goals. Beep beep. What is that? It's a lighting bug or whatever they light up. What, that's so cool, how does he do that? It's just a bug but it lights up. It had never even occurred to me that there were parts of this planet where lightning bugs are not indigenous. Hard to swallow pills. Your friends do love you, your brain is just mean. Neighbors build doggy door and fence so their dogs can hang out whenever they want. Man, human imprinting is crazy. My friend's Roomba zoomed by me and I got this intense urge to reach down and pat it. Like it's just a machine. But it's a good boy. It spends all day cleaning and sleeping and exploring the house and never complains, and it's just so good. Little robot. Pet robot. Pet the robot. Why am I like this? When I bought my Roomba, the lady at the store told me that if it breaks within warranty and I send it back to the manufacturer, I can request that they fix and send back the same Roomba instead of just sending back a new one. I gave her a confused look and she explained that people get attached to their Roomba and don't want them to just be replaced because they are like part of the family. 400-year-old bonsai stolen. Owner posts care instructions on Facebook. Parents of Reddit. What is the most embarrassing thing your toddler said out loud in public? My son was 2 and thought every black man was his dad. He was away for the military a while, so when we were at Boston Market he called another random stranger daddy and ran to him and hugged him. Ha ha ha, the guy actually picked him up and said, "I'm not your dad but hey buddy." I was mortified but couldn't stop laughing. Does your storm drain spark joy? If not, declutter your storm drain. Take a step back to admire your storm drain. Thank your storm drain for all it does for you. When people talk about traveling to the past, they worry about radically changing the present by doing something small, but barely anyone in the present really thinks that they can radically change the future by doing something small. Dude. Rich people. Poor people. Teachers whom spend their own money to help students. When you come home and you see your dog and he see you. Someday, we will all die, Snoopy. True, but on all the other days, we will not. NASA should send another rover to Mars with a spare battery so it could revive opportunity and be friends. Dad, keep that thing away from me. 2 weeks later. Dad. Gordon Ramsay, what do you think of my fiance's skill at pork loin? Marry him. The I have answers. I'm eternal. I know all and see all. You may ask one question, but if someone has asked it before, I will destroy you. How are you? It's just so lonely down here, you know. That sucks, man. Many Romans loved their dogs and made graves for them with profoundly touching epitaphs. One read, "I'm in tears while carrying you to your last resting place as much as I rejoiced when bringing you home in my own hands 15 years ago." A group of 9 women who call themselves the 9 Nanas kept a secret for decades that not even their husbands knew about. For 30 years they met at 4 AM, anonymously paying bills, buying clothes for people in need and sending them care packages. Each of the care package contained a homemade pound cake and a note that read, "Somebody loves you." I wish you understood my every word, Garfield. I could tell you I love you. I understand how you feel. I love you too. There is a blind deer in our neighborhood and this 10-year-old boy walks her from one grass patch to another every day before school to make sure she finds food. The best thing about my mum finally getting a decent phone is her fangirling over my dad on Snapchat like a teenager. What is a dirty little or big secret about an industry that you have worked in, that people outside the industry really ought to know? I work with kids at a daycare and we see babies take their first steps sometimes, but we never tell the parents because we don't want them to feel bad about missing it. After years of renting apartments without enough space for a dog, I finally adopted this sweet girl. I have come for your soul. Actually, I've put all my heart and soul into my artwork. Oh, can I have this one then? There is exactly one person on the planet who is the nicest person on earth. When both Mr. Rogers and Bob Ross were alive, who had the title, they kept graciously handing it back and forth to each other. Oh, here comes Dave. He's a hugger. Hey guys. Told my granddad I was taking him for lunch. My dad just phoned him and he said he's been up and showered since 7 AM all ready for our lunch date. My heart. PS. He loved it. Me, I love everything about you. My girlfriend, really, but what about me? Did I stutter? 3 boys found man about to jump off bridge, grabbed him and didn't let go. I love my dog. If ever I cry, he collects up dirty socks and brings them to me. They're his favorite thing in the world and they make him happy. So they'll make me happy too. He's a good boy. Gary Gygax's wife was convinced he was having an affair, so she followed him to a dimly lit basement and burst into the room only to find him and his friends hunched over hand-drawn maps. Gary would go on to invent the role-playing game Dungeons and Dragons. Be me, 17, female and in treatment and recovery from rape. Walking through Petco to pick up crickets for my friend's pet lizard. Lock eyes with this cat in the adoption area. She presses her paw up to the glass. Crying in public. JPG. I impulsively adopt her. 2 months later, suicidal thoughts almost non-existent and able to talk to strangers again. Cat is my best friend. She never leaves my side when I'm home and encourages me to get out of bed in the morning. Don't forget to give your pet a hug today. Remember Kiwi and his goth girlfriend? Well, now she's his goth wife and they have 4 beautiful half-goth babies. Gabriel Nobben, 19, with his mom and sister right after he found out he'd passed Brazil's famously difficult university entrance exam. The young man had cut a deal with a prep course to clean the building in exchange for free classes to help him prepare for the exam. This photo is from 1955. It was called A Few Seconds Before Happiness. I got this tank top on Amazon and they sent me a dress. On the plus side, it does make my ass look great. My sister is about to have a baby and my brother showed up to the hospital in a suit because first impressions matter. They give you a lot of treats while they're training you, so play dumb for as long as you can. It is time to go. Was I a good Mars rover? No, I'm told you were the best. A very dear friend of mine passed away 12 years ago at 20 years old. When we were kids, we'd go to a local Pizza Hut for the buffet and gorge ourselves on as much pizza as possible. Before we left, we always did this in their bathroom and giggled out little hearts out. I think about that regularly to this day. This post brought a huge smile to my face. Thank you. How she thinks she looks versus how I think she looks. Teen has vaccinations after asking Reddit. Ethan Lindenberger from Ohio asked social media site Reddit if he could have vaccines without parental consent. I'm so proud of this community. Customers buy out stores donuts so owner can care for his sick wife. 17 years together. They said I'd only last 90 days. I made it to 15 years. Am I a good boy? Beagle adopts baby possum after losing litter of puppies. I'm not crying, you're crying. Hans Island is disputed territory between Canada and Denmark. The militaries of both countries periodically visit to remove the other guy's flag and leave a bottle of Danish schnapps or Canadian whiskey. Brian Ware founded the Crayon Initiative after learning that restaurants throw away all the crayons that the kids leave behind on tables. He collects them, melts them down, creates new crayons that are thicker and easier to grasp for young children and kids with special needs and delivers them to local hospitals. As some know, my dad is mentally and physically handicapped, and so especially now that he's older he's unable to work or earn an income, but he's been saving his pocket change for the past month for some reason, and I thought nothing of it till I came home from work to this today. Coffee money. Love dad. When you're chill with everyone. When people on the internet start paying you respect for your discoveries. Mechanical happiness. 25-year-old Kenyan invents smart gloves that convert sign language movements into audio speech. Yo, it would be fucking fire if everyone could wear around a number that was proportional to the current level of stress causing hormones in their body. You'd instantly know not to get on people's bad side like Gerald in The Office is showing her 89. Step the fuck off, mate. I'm a teacher, and during morning meeting I always have my kids go around the room and give me a number from 1 to 10 on how good their day is so far and what kind of mood they're in. Some share stories of why it was a bad night or whatever, but some just say the number. Then everyone knows how to treat everyone. One day I was mad, had a headache, had an issue with another staff, etc. I said I was a 1. My kids were angels that day. F***ing no. Phew. Need a hand? Yes please. Fucking no. A cat who was found frozen and buried under snow during the polar vortex has thawed out and made a full recovery. Restoration 100. My autistic brother was sad that Blockbuster was closing down, so my parents made a mini one at home for him. When a Newton family welcomed a baby who is deaf, 20 neighbors learned sign language. I hid under the bed to scare my boyfriend while he was in the bathroom, and when he came out he saw I was gone and I watched him get all excited and run in the closet to wait and scare me. I was sitting under my bed crying laughing. A family lost their dog during Hurricane Sandy, and after searching for 1.5 years they decided to adopt another dog. Their adoption counselor brought in the first candidate and it turned out to be their lost dog. Interviewed a little girl this morning that feeds crows and they bring her gifts in return. Here's her collection. I love pirates because they have no concept of albism. Oh, you have no leg? Here, have a peg leg. No hand? Well, guess we gotta put a hook on that. Give those sons of bitches a surprise. Blind in one eye. Put an eye patch on, no one fucking cares. You're deaf. Go man the cannons, you glorious bastard. They don't care if you're disabled because as long as you can fuck shit up they literally don't fucking care. Bob Ross would have fucking loved Minecraft. It's your world where you can do anything you want. You can put anything you want in it. You can put the happy little trees anywhere. Maybe we're all playable characters in a cosmic video game and the fridge is the save point, which is why we all sorta open it, look inside and then wander off without eating anything. Why would my player pick someone depressed and broke? Like what the fuck? Maybe they just haven't finished leveling you up. Some players like a challenge. Maybe you're a hard mode character. When you're level 1 so you equip anything you can find. No crime. 8 AM to 6 PM. Breaking news. Crime 8 AM to 6 PM rate drops to 0%. You have been visited by the holy doggo. Like this video and subscribe for a good luck. Hig will sit on my steps and howl until I open the door and acknowledge him. Also, Hig is not my dog. If you ever call me cute I will think about it all day, and when I go to sleep I'll just be a little burrito of blankets, and I will whisper quietly, "They called me cute." The search and rescue dogs on 9/11 were literally becoming depressed because they only found dead bodies. Their handlers started taking turns burying themselves in the rubble so the dogs could actually rescue someone. This is the purest thing I've ever received. Bless my mom. Proof all dogs go to heaven. Whoa. What is your wish, mortal? Well, I wish I would stop second guessing myself. Really, you're going to wish for that? Hey, it's my wish, so I get to be the... Hey. Only packing the essentials. The homeless man's rabbit was thrown over a bridge by a passerby and he immediately jumped into the river to save her and resuscitated her. He won an award, was given animal food and a job, and the passerby was charged with animal cruelty. Man, I hate this job. Hands up. Also a leg. Third position. Dinge. Stanky leg. Moonwalk. Now go pursue your dream as a dancer. Okay, but you sure are a strange robber. Yeah, well, that's because I'm your dad. NASA brings Curiosity rover back to life after it slipped into safe mode. NASA's Curiosity Mars rover went into safe mode after it ran into issues while booting up. The rover, which touched down Mars in 2014, was brought back to life and are trying to understand what went wrong. I feel suboptimal. I'm not trained for this. Nonetheless, I will place my hand here. Yes. Feels like you require validation. Sit. I will prepare the hot bad water. My healing commences. Swedish prison guards forget to lock cells. During Friday night, the guards to Norrtälje prison in Sweden forgot to lock 6 prisoners into their cells, 3 of which was sentenced to murder. The prisoners took the opportunity to bake brownies and watch television. One of the best evenings we had had in a long time, says one of the prisoners. They had us in the first half, not gonna lie. This lady in the washroom looking at me said, I remember when my girlfriends and I would get dressed up and go out. I miss that. So I said, why miss it? We are all out right now, aren't we? Story short, we have a new friend. They've been dating for more than a year now. One last hydration cylinder. Okay. Ingest it now. Please keep the corridor illuminated. Okay. Imagine pleasant nonsense. Okay. The purest love in the world is the one between grumpy dads and the pet they said they didn't want. I found this. Great. It's vibrating. That means it's working. What does it excel at? Scratching. Also hiding. An ideal companion. My dog's best friend is a brick. Orders pizza. What a night. Phone buzzes. And a text. Killing it. Checks phone. Okay, that was the pizza confirmation, but still cruising. Did you know? The late PBS art instructor Bob Ross received more than 200 fan mail letters per day. When regular letter writers fell out of touch, he was known to call them at home, just to make sure they were okay. They were making fun of me. Every night in Providence, Rhode Island, skyscrapers, tugboats, hotels and police cars flash and blink their lights on and off at 8:30 to tell kids at children's hospitals good night. So I was at Walmart earlier. A lady was looking at frozen turkeys, but she couldn't find one big enough. She asked the stock boy, do these turkeys get any bigger? He replied with a straight face, no ma'am, they're dead. Made my week. My dog Baymax is a pretty unique guy. Within less than a year he went from all black to white. I was concerned, so I took him to the vet. After seeing a few different veterinarians, we finally had an answer and found out that he has vitiligo, which is what Michael Jackson had. So yeah, my dog is pretty cool. Our baby is saying his first word. Woof. Woof 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 woof. He knows all the words. Oh my god, Steve Irwin. Best day ever. Pack up all of your cookies. I'm taking them all so y'all can get out of this cold. This man bought $540 in cookies so these Girl Scouts could escape the cold. Dashrath Manja, he cut down a mountain single-handed for 22 years, day and night, to ensure no one else dies without medical care like his wife, reducing the distance from 70 kilometers to just 1 kilometer from his village to hospital. Got the EV game. Kid wanted to pet EV, ended up falling asleep petting it. EV fell asleep too. Staying at an Airbnb and I woke up to their kitten this morning licking my face. Instant 5-star review. I was in foster care for 924 days. But today I was adopted. Superdad creates beeping Easter eggs for blind children to hunt. Today I asked a kindergartner if Friday was his favorite day of the week and his response was, I don't know. I don't know a lot of things. I'm confused all the time. Same little man. Same. My dad still sleeps on the floor because we can't afford a medical bed, or he sleeps sitting up on the couch, and we rent a 3-bedroom house with 5 adults living in it. I run his appointments, schedule bill payments and do all his banking. I also respond to emails for him sometimes. It's been hard on him, and not fair, but now he laughs. We work together to do most things and we are trying to get to the point where we can buy him a new house. My sisters and I are all working, but the most important part is that we still have each other. I'm grateful for that. Hello, I have a medical bed that you can have, but it is located in southeastern Florida. I sent a PM and we'll see what we can do. I own a moving company and would love to give you free transport. PM sent. You know, an American Staffordshire Bull Terrier who works as a video game developer. A very good boy. My mom went to the grocery store today and there was a woman asking them for 39-cent chicken. The butcher explained to mom that she has dementia and comes in all the time with really old sales papers, so he sells her meat for that price so he doesn't confuse her. Someone has turned a red light at my favorite traffic lights into a heart. Why do you have favorite traffic lights? Because there's always a duck next to it. Got my nails done and picked this cute ass lavender color. My nail guy goes, that was my wife's favorite. She passed away 15 years ago today. This morning I woke up and asked for a sign that she's still here with me, so I guess this is it. Thank you. I'm fucking crying. Mr. Wheeze was always my big chunk. After a year of diet and exercise he's now my small medium chunk. He looks so proud in his little bow tie. Hi world, my name is Spike. Me, finished my time machine. Friend, you gonna go back and kill Hitler? Me, no, I'm gonna do something more important. 13 years ago in Australia. Me in lifeguard outfit. Sorry guys, you can't be on the reef today. Steve Irwin sad to not swim with stingrays. Tomorrow's another day. My husband was downstairs making tacos. He sent our dog upstairs to let me know they are ready. He peed on the floor and tried to clean it up himself. Responsible as f**k. 10 out of 10. Good doggo. You can't be mad at him. Definitely should give him a treat. Got your nose? My parents' cat inexplicably loves peaches and it's the most delightful thing. They send regular picture updates to the family group chat of this cat just chilling with the peaches. It's the most important notification I get to my phone. Husband saves wife's life by donating kidney after spending a year dieting and exercising to get his blood pressure low enough for surgery. This is fucking weird, but I remembered the name of my best friend on Halo Reach back in 2012. Found him on Steam because he probably used the same name as his Steam account, and added him. Oh my god. Kiwi. Yeah, it's me. So it turns out that he's lived 7 minutes away from my house in the States for the past 6 years. He's never seen himself in the mirror, so I tell him how handsome he is at least 20 times a day. You really gonna scroll past without saying meowdy? For those curious, this is what a baby corgi paw looks like. Someone once told me if you stress too much about something before it happens, you basically put yourself through it twice, and I feel like someone needed to hear that too. Be happy. There is a biker gang from Arizona who help keep child abuse victims safe while the child's abuser is prosecuted, including guarding their houses at night if person is not yet in jail and attending court with the child, shielding them so they don't have to look at their abuser. Young kid at skate park. Are you a professional? Me, yes. Him, but you're a grown up. Me, I know, it's weird. Him, I have a skateboard. Me, I hope you never outgrow it. Just a reminder that your parents don't determine what you become. My dad has been a meth addict my entire life. Growing up I always felt like that would confine me in what I would be able to make of myself. Recently I was accepted to my top choice medical school. Love, a short story. Never again. I guess one more time won't hurt. To be honest, this was one of the nicest things I've ever received. Hello, I just wanted to inform you that I find you to be very attractive. Thank you, and have a nice day. Please be environmentally responsible and reuse this card on the next attractive person you see. Fido, come. Good boy. Teenager saves for 2 years to buy best friend electric wheelchair. I'm so proud of this community. I have named it. Will it respond to this name? Never. Is the collar for a leash? The collar is for the name. Give me all your money. I don't have any money. I'm in debt. Well, give me all your debt. Now you go home and you get your life together. It's that time again. Doctor sings happy birthday to every baby he delivers. I got up this morning to get ready for Capitol Pride. My grandma walked into my room, looked at my bi flag and said, "Oh, this needs to be pressed out." Such a simple gesture, but it holds so much love and meaning for me. A bad dog owner dumps this wolf dog at a kill shelter when he got too big and too much to handle. Luckily a sanctuary took him instead and saved his life. His DNA testing came back as 87.5% Grey Wolf, 8.6% Siberian Husky and 3.9% German Shepherd. Randy Bryce, my 12-year-old son is a Bob Ross fan. Scott Ross, I will let my dad know. When you have nice hat and someone mentions it and you feel nice. This elementary school principal reads books on Facebook to ensure her students have a bedtime story. My favorite story so far, an animal shelter posted something along the lines of, "If you are an adult and don't want people to know you are playing Pokemon, we will rent our shelter dogs to you for $5 an hour so it looks like you are walking your dog." Haha, right. Here are some of the results so far. They now have a waiting list of people who want to pay for the privilege of walking a dog. They have made so much money in rental fees that they have waived adoption fees. When the people renting the dogs are out walking, they post pictures of themselves playing the game on Facebook and Instagram. People are then coming to the shelter asking to adopt specific dogs. On at least 2 occasions people have called the shelter and said, "Hey, I didn't think I wanted a dog, but me and this dog get along really well. I'm not bringing him back." The shelter currently has no dogs available to rent and there is a waiting list because all of the dogs have been adopted. They are currently bringing dogs in from a different shelter to be rented. One of the best Pokemon Go stories so far. Our local weatherman's costume today. Have you felt unsafe on campus, discriminated against, threatened, afraid to walk around campus? We will walk with you. Customer pulls into the shop today and literally hear crickets when all the air tools and employees stopped and shook their head in disgust on what they saw. This unfortunate customer had racist remarks with spray paint all over the vehicle. I looked at the driver and told him that you are not leaving until I fix this. Literally my guys dropped everything and attacked this truck like a pit crew and got the job done. I told the owner of the vehicle this one's on me and I wanted him to know that Buffalonians will never stand for this. Great job and many thanks to the team at Collision Masters. The last molecule of serotonin in my brain doing its best to make sure I have a good day. Mom, it took me 9 months to form your heart. Don't let someone destroy it in one day. A shark can hear a struggling fish from up to 800 feet away. Honey, we can't afford groceries this week, but at least we could afford your father's pills. Whenever my parrot flips out and gets angry, I say hey in this soft comforting voice and then talk to him gently. He calms down within seconds. I just got frustrated enough at something that I went arg. My parrot said hey all softly and sweetly like a dozen times over the next minute. It made me feel better instantly. My parrot is better at conflict de-escalation than most people. I wish I had smoother skin. I wish I had a stronger core. I wish more people liked me. It's hard for me to open up. I love all of you. I was having a bad day and this dog walked to my bus stop, sat on the bench and asked me for pets. Got, you're an amphibian. Frog, what does that mean? Got, it means you can breathe on land and in the water. Frog, oh my god, you mean I'm a mermaid? Got, no that's not what I. Frog whispers, I'm the littlest mermaid. Tetris was created by a Russian, has Russian style music and teaches you how to fall in line. Or maybe it's trying to teach you that not everyone is same, but if we work hard together we can fit in just fine. A trailer in a movie theater ended with November 20th and a guy loudly said, "That's my birthday," and a random guy said, "Happy birthday." Have I ceased to exist? Deception, I have not. To the teenager who came into my shop today with your mom. Your mom came in today asking for my help to invade your private life. She even brought you with her. I can't imagine how embarrassing that must be. She asked me to go through your phone and computer and find any apps or photos that she wouldn't approve of, because she was too technology illiterate to do it herself, all the while making you watch. I work at a tech support shop. Personally, I think this is an invasion of your personal space and privacy, so when I found the folder where you'd hid all your movies and games, I made sure to pretend I didn't see them. On your phone I told her that you didn't have anything but the default apps and Angry Birds, and then I showed her a place where she could look on your phone that would only show her the default apps, not the ones you downloaded. So hopefully when she invaded your space again she won't find anything. Was I wrong to do what I did? Probably, but you're only a year or two away from adulthood and I don't think it's right that anyone be that intrusive, mother or not. Humanity Restoration 100. Whenever I see a penny on the ground I pick it up. My mom always used to smile when I was a kid and say, "Find a penny, pick it up, and all day long you'll have good luck." Does it work? No, but for a second it's like having my mom back. My girl wanted a piggyback picture on the beach and a random biker watching the sunset said he wanted one too. Instead of destroying the tree, Pluto sits calmly underneath it because he knows he is a gift to this world. He is absolutely right. Shout out to everyone making progress that no one recognizes because you never let anyone see your darkest moments. You've been silently winning battles and transforming yourself. Be proud of every step you're making in the right direction. Keep going because you got this. My hopes and dreams. Don't worry, that's a recycling bin, not a trash bin. Your hopes and dreams can be recycled into new and different ones that can sustain you. My cousin is an artist and he just recently lost his golden. He painted this portrait in honor. It's called Valhalla. Now you possess this. So unnecessary. I want to observe concealment destruction. Now, destroy the concealment. It's so beautiful. Destroy now, I want to observe. Okay. The first bath with mom. This guy got on the bus and just stared at me and Lulabelle on my lap for a solid 30 seconds then goes, "Are you allowed to have dogs on the bus?" And I just shrugged thinking he was gonna give me shiz or something, but then he pulls out a chihuahua out of nowhere. This took an unexpected wholesome turn. When you check in on actors from your favorite childhood TV shows and they're doing just fine. Do you want to trap carbon dioxide in ephemeral spheres? For what purpose? Enjoyment. I put an orange on my cat and now he looks like an egg. My friend doing weird shiz. Me not fully understanding but happy to be there. You two know you can come and write. No thank you, we are waiting for someone. Bullied 7-year-old finds cat with same rare eye condition and cleft lip, and it's like destiny exists. Welcome to Duncan Dental. May I help you? Can you validate me? You're a good person. No, I meant, can you validate my parking? Oh. Our new being weighs 9 pounds. Weighty. Such heft. But how long? Significant. A lengthy being. Accidentally played dad instead of dead when I encountered a bear, and now it can ride a bike without training wheels. James Friedman is a dude who takes Photoshop requests but usually trolls and doesn't take them seriously. I have a skin condition, vitiligo. Just want to see if normal is prettier. Can you remove white spots please? Your skin condition doesn't make you less attractive. Do not let it ruin your confidence. People will see past it once you stop concentrating on it. Collect brushed fur of your pets into a bag and put it into a bird feeder. The birds will take away this fur for their nests and chicks, turning dog shedding into bird nests. Husband said he was going to make a bed frame. I thought it was for our new mattress. It was for the cat. We welcomed our firstborn 5 days ago. Our dog Lucy has been on watch ever since. He cried slightly this morning and she immediately went to make sure everything was okay and stayed until he fell back asleep. Love them both. My grandmother was complaining about how she couldn't use a remote, so I grandma-fied it for her. My dog was terrified of the fireworks, so my cat went and cuddled up with her. My heart is crying still. Supermarket keeps retraining employee with dementia so she can continue working. My daughter and my puppy fight over who's going to warm their butt on the vent in the morning. The baby won today. The puppy is pouting about it. I 24 male know that my girlfriend 19 female is lying to me. We were chilling in my room when she said, "I just thought of a lie that I tell you sometimes." I paused my game and asked her to go on. Sometimes she said, "I say I need a hug from you when actually I think you're the one that needs a hug." She's a keeper. 2008, a young Joseph meets his idol Michael Phelps. 2016, Joseph beats Michael Phelps in the Olympics. Never give up on your dreams. My tow truck driver has a cat named Dixie with a matching safety vest. If you are singing along to a song on the radio, there is a good chance you are singing along with thousands of people. Or that's kinda nice. Once a little boy sent me a charming card with a little drawing on it. I loved it. I sent him a card and I drew a picture of a wild thing on it. I wrote, "Dear Jim, I loved your card." Then I got a letter back from his mother and she said, "Jim loved your card so much he ate it." That to me was one of the highest compliments I've ever received. He didn't care that it was an original Maurice Sendak drawing or anything. He saw it, he loved it, he ate it. What is the loveliest thing a child has ever said to you? Would you like one, grandpa? Okay, it was not my child but my 3-year-old granddaughter, but I still think it counts. I had read about the marshmallow test. You give a child a marshmallow and then say that if she, Layla in this case, could keep from eating it for 10 minutes, you'll give her a second. So I tried that test with my granddaughter, not with marshmallows, but with chocolate, which she likes much more. According to extensive experiments, children who pass the marshmallow test are far more successful in later life. They have learned a fundamental truth in life, that delayed gratification can lead to a far better long-term outcome. She sat and watched the chocolate. The 10-minute hourglass finally emptied, and she had succeeded. She asked for her second piece of chocolate. I gave it to her, and she now had 2 in her hand. That's when she looked up at me and asked, "Would you like one, grandpa?" Needless to say, from that moment on I would readily give my life for her. Man in Nebraska orders pizza for his grandma in Florida to make sure she was alright after he couldn't reach her following Hurricane Matthew. Police and fire couldn't do it, but Papa John's got there in 30 minutes and put the cell phone to her ear. Krusty Krab pizza is a pizza for you and me. When you run into an old friend and y'all have been riding 2 different ways, but the love's still there. I never want my kids to mess up and think, "Dad's gonna kill me." I want their first thought to be, "I need to call my dad." Parenting with fear isn't parenting at all. It's tolerating a child's presence until they are old enough to mind themselves. Dog is scratching ear. Me. Now this looks like a job for me. So last summer I randomly met this 80-year-old woman on Words with Friends. We played 300 plus games together and she actually ended up becoming a good friend of mine. Today I got to go to Florida and meet her in person. Wholesome thrush. I'm 60 years old and have searched my whole life to identify the sound of this bird. Not only have you identified the bird with the song but with the video as well. You have given me one of the most precious gifts I've had on my bucket list since I was a child. Thank you. Okay, I have a story for you guys. Be me. Walking home from work. See homeless guy asking for some change for food. I tell him I'll buy him some food in the 7-Eleven. He seems super happy about it. We walk into the 7-Eleven and I start buying him some food. I ask him if he is thirsty. He says yes, so I take him to the cooler, but he says, "Do you mind if I get something else?" I was hoping he wouldn't ask for alcohol. "I haven't had chocolate milk in years," he said. I buy him his things. That feel when I go home and start crying in my living room over what just happened. I'm not kidding. I cried because of what he said about chocolate milk. My dog ran away and wandered into the local Home Depot. This is what I arrived to when I picked her up. The man in the chair is Mr. Earl. Mr. Earl lives in the assisted living home next door to the shop. He has a memory disease that if you tell him something today he forgets. So if you tell him again tomorrow it's like new information to him. His brother used to come to the shop and pay me every week to cut his hair. Then later Mr. Earl would come and ask me did his brother pay me so he can get a cut. I would always say yes, so your debt is already paid. Mr. Earl's brother died 5 years ago and he doesn't remember. He still comes every week and always asks me is his debt paid. I always still say yes sir, your debt is paid, and cut his hair. I know Mr. Earl's brother is in heaven looking down watching out for us. That's payment enough. Some things are better than money. There is a festival in Nepal dedicated solely to thanking dogs for their loyalty and friendship. An Indian flight attendant named Nirja Banat hid the passports of American passengers on a hijacked flight to save them from the hijackers. She is credited with saving 360 passengers. Here is a new challenge for all you bored teens. Take a photo of an area that needs some cleaning or maintenance. Then take a photo after you have done something about it and post it. Sex workers of Reddit. What is the saddest experience client-wise you've had while on the job? Not my story, but I knew a girl who did rent a night type of stuff. Guy asks her if she could come over. Doesn't talk about sex over the phone. Just if she could come over and to come hungry. She thinks he is into feeding or some shiz. She arrives at like 6 PM. Pretty early for her work. She asks what he would like to do. He just cooks for her a really big delicious meal. Later he starts to open up a bit. His wife had passed and always loved his cooking, but he hates cooking for himself. My sister-in-law has this massive aloe, and when she brought it into over winter, this grey boy came in with it. He doesn't wander, just sleeps in his hidey hole in the soil and comes out to sun himself on a tentacle every now and again. She mists him with a spray bottle and feeds him waxies from the bait shop. Took my 6-year-old to a classmate's birthday party today. He was the only other kid there. His parents thanked me for bringing him and said he was the only one their son wanted to invite. Because my son's the only one in school who's nice to him. Teach your kids to not be assholes. In college I smoked some weed with my neighbor in the dorm. I got so high that I had a panic attack, and to calm me down he basically had to cuddle with me and then put on Animal Planet. No joke. Sounds like a sweet dude. Turkish bride and groom distribute food to 4,000 Syrian refugees instead of their guests on their wedding day. It took my new cat a while to realize that kissing the top of her head was a gesture of affection, but I think she's finally got it. The downside is that she now thinks the best way to signal that she wants cuddles is to come charging at me and mash the top of her head against my face. It's like a very affectionate punch in the mouth. Doctor takes break from giving birth to deliver another baby. A gynecologist in US was preparing to give birth to her own baby in the hospital when she heard that another expectant mother was also close to giving birth. As the doctor on call was still on his way, she stepped in and handled the delivery. She then went back to her ward and gave birth to her baby. Still got a long way to go, but progress is still progress, right? It ain't much, but it's honest work. Draw stick figures, sing off key, write bad poems, sew ugly clothes, run slowly, flirt clumsily, play video games on easy. You do not need to be good at something to enjoy the act. Talent is overrated. Do things you like doing. It's okay to suck. I used to be self-conscious about my height, but then I thought, f that, I'm Harry Potter. This girl in my bio lecture fell asleep, and the guy beside her took her clicker and answered all the questions, so she still got credit. I hope they get married. Me acting shocked after a little kid tells me a fact I already knew, so they feel smart, and thus encouraging them to continue to share information they find important with people. Got my nails done and picked this cute ass lavender color. My male guy goes, that was my wife's favorite. She passed away 15 years ago today. This morning I woke up and asked for a sign that she's still here with me. So I guess this is it. Thank you. I'm f***ing crying. This is probably the best thing I've ever seen. Me. Vegetables at the grocery store getting misted. Me. He took up 2 spaces, but bought 2 tickets. In 2017 a dog named Odin refused to leave his flock of goats behind during the California Tubbs fire as his owners fled to safety. Days later, the owners came back to their property to find Odin survived and managed to keep all the goats alive. Me, thinking about suicide. Stanley from heaven, don't make me come down there you punk. Shelp, a 19-year-old dog, is taken into the lake every night by his owner John to help soothe his arthritis and help him fall asleep. There is a Dutch nursing home that provides rent-free housing to university students in return for being good neighbors, interacting with older residents, attending parties etc. to ward off loneliness and depression common in the elderly. Willie, a parrot, alerted his owner Megan Howard when the toddler she was babysitting began to choke. Megan was in the bathroom. The parrot began screaming mama, baby, while flapping its wings as the child turned blue. Megan rushed over and performed the Heimlich, saving the girl's life. 1998. When I get bigger I'm going to be my dad's partner and catch bad guys and burglars. 2018. Hamsters doing a snooze. This 9-month-old tiger was so sick she weighed 30 pounds when she was supposed to weigh around 120. When she was rescued from circus her bald spots covered almost her entire body and her skin was dry with cracked, darkened areas and bleeding. Every day, twice a day I would go in and give Asha medications and spend time with her, told Kihei. At first Kihei would have to chase Asha to get her into medicated bathe, but the cub soon started to like them and her condition improved drastically. Within 8 months she looked like a real tiger. Asha was then introduced to a bigger tiger named Smuggler, who went crazy for her and was always showing off for her. Now the two live in the same enclosure together and Asha is a healthy and very much loved tigress. A thing I've started doing with my class is giving them a secret mission, where they have to do something and if another staff member tells me about it, the whole class moves up my reward chart. Last week was holding doors for people, this week is asking people about their day. Me at 5 years old standing outside my parents' bedroom after a nightmare, debating on whether or not I should wake them up. This Indian man and I have an identical commute but we have never spoken to each other, like we get on at the same platform spot and everything. I worked from home yesterday and today he jokingly said, "Where were you?" I was lonely. It was a joke, but I almost cried LMAO. To quote my friend, I couldn't tell who was happier to see who. Dad is back home. 5-year-old Sean dresses up to help street cats because it makes him feel like a superhero for animals. A bar of iron costs $5. Made into horseshoes its worth is $12. Made into needles its worth is $3,500. Made into balance springs for watches its worth is $300,000. Your own value is determined also by what you are able to make of yourself. Personality 8 out of 10. Looks 8 out of 10. Legs 1 out of 2. Breaking news. Local stingray in great mood. The water is nice and warm, and his flappy parts feel very flappy indeed. Poi the dog enjoys roaming his town just to bark at strangers, but one day in 2013 he suddenly brought something home with him. He'd found a white plastic bag with a newborn baby inside, dragged it to his porch, and barked as loudly as he could until help came. He not only saved the girl's life, but many families including his own, offered to adopt her. Getting ready for bunny school. The best part of the day is getting texts like these from my mom back home. Funny flower in the garden. This is Cronus. After a life of protecting sheep from wolves, he is retired and enjoys his days chilling in the garden and eating massive amounts of kibble. Off-duty firefighter helps old lady down the steps at a ball game, then carries her back up when she's having difficulties later. They were inseparable. My dog took care of my kitten as her own with her puppies, and then later helped take care of her kittens as well. Punk's not dead. I almost took a girl home yesterday until this guy showed up. New Zealand gang members peacefully stand side by side police and the Muslim community to show support to those killed in the mosque shootings. My mental illness is somehow my fault. Mental illness can happen to anyone because the human body is a f***ed up mess. God has to nerf me because I was too powerful. I met an 84-year-old on Overwatch today who said his grandson lets him play on his account to help his reflexes get better, and that's the most wholesome thing I've ever heard. Everyone on the team gave him a shot caller endorsement and he got all emotional and thanked everyone. These blankets are not lost. If you are cold without shelter and looking for comfort, then they are for you. Please take one, keep warm and know that you are important. Eminem's Lose Yourself was the first rap song to ever win an Oscar for Best Original Song. However, he didn't attend the awards because he didn't think he had a chance of winning. Instead, he fell asleep watching cartoons with his daughter at home. Officer is reunited with suicidal man he talked down from the Golden Gate Bridge 10 years ago to find he's now happily married with 2 kids. My mom be cutting up fruit and bringing it to me in my room without saying nothing. That's when it hits me. Nobody ever gonna love me this much. High school cross country team invites shelter dogs on their morning run. I'm not sure who was more excited. What simple things gets you to laugh in an instant? My wife laughs a lot and does this thing where when she finds something really funny, she can't even get the whole story out. She'll say like 3 words and laughs so hard she cries. It takes her 10 minutes to tell me why she's laughing, and it kills me every single time. A farmer in China spent 16 years studying law so he could sue a chemical company that polluted his land. He couldn't afford to buy law books, so he gave the bookstore owner corn in exchange for letting him read and copy information by hand. He won his case and got compensation for all the families in his village. Had my 6-year-old slowly and painstakingly reading an Acgia book about otters to his stuffed otter because I wanted him to know about his family. When they say in the credits of a game, and you. My granddad has a hat for each university his grandchildren attended, and today I got to give him mine. For the last time, wake up, you have to go to school. Dad, you're yelling at a pine cone. He actually delivered me at home himself. We decided to reenact this moment 21 years later. Happy birthday, Pops. Best advice from my dad. You believed in Santa for 8 years. You can believe in yourself for 10 seconds. Husband was in another city and I was hungry and out of credit, so I told him to call McDonald's and order food for me. He said the rider will be there in 45 minutes, and when he said your order is outside, I opened the door. It was him with my food. Hi. I miss that creature. Just flew with this mother-daughter flight crew on Delta from LAX to ATL. Awesome. My dog escaped from the yard today, and about 30 minutes later my neighbor sent me this picture. There has been a spider in my bathroom for 1 month. I refused to kill him. I named him Philip. Every time somebody uses the bathroom they tell me to kill him, but I make excuses and won't do it. He is like my roommate, but instead of paying rent he protects me from the other gross Florida creatures like mosquitoes. Philip, if you're reading this, thanks man. My daughter went to my husband and said, Dad, have you ever heard of Pokemon? And I have never seen him so happy, lol. He busted out all his old cards and is in full education mode. Not every place you fit in is where you belong. Going through a very hard time right now, but my dad calls me a few times a week with computer problems that are clearly not real. Once I fix them we chat on the phone for an hour, so that's nice. Boyfriend, you don't have to do anything for my birthday. Girlfriend, do something. Boyfriend. The only thing I like about working at the movie theater is seeing this dad bring his daughter to Disney movies. The whole squad walking away while you tie your shoes. That one bro waiting for you. When you put something in the shopping cart and hope your mom won't notice. I like having conversations with kids. Grown-ups never ask me what my third favorite reptile is. The moment my dog and husband realized I was in the car beside him. When I was younger I got my make-a-wish and wanted to meet the Red Sox. I got to meet a bunch of them and sit in the dugout. A few years later we come across them in a hotel and they still remembered me. That was the most special I ever felt. This is Ramen. He visits the pond every day and tries to kiss a turtle. Hasn't had any luck yet. 13 out of 10 would console. What's a weird childhood ritual you still do today? When I was younger I'd help my mum fold bed sheets. You know, we each grab an end, put the corners together twice to fold lengthways, and then walk towards each other to fold widthways. I used to always give my mum a hug at the end of it, with the bed sheets pressed between us. This would repeat for as many sheets as we needed to fold. 1 or 2 or 3 you know. Now I'm 33 years old and when me and my wife fold sheets together, we end it with a hug. Not the best car but happy to be able to buy my mom a car. Not the best, buying your mum a car regardless is so kind. See how social media won't accept it unless it's a Mercedes orange. You're terrible at this. That's why I keep practicing. Others are much more successful than you. Those guys work hard, they inspire me. But you want to throw it all away and give up, right? Oh, several times a day, but then I push on. I'm trying to discourage you. My own brain says much worse stuff to me. This man waits for his wife to get out of class every day. So I found this caterpillar on my way to class. We are bros. I named him Chicken Nugget. He's turning a duller color. I hope he's alright. So apparently Chicken Nugget is a spicebush swallowtail and they turn yellow before they pupate. He was making little silk things everywhere. Bruh, this caterpie is going to evolve to Metapod today. My boy isn't messing around. He's been chilling like this for a couple days. He's been in cocoon for 10 days now. Chicken Nugget is a chicken wing now, baby, we have liftoff. This guy kept his hand in this position for more than 45 minutes so his daughter could sleep well. 3-year-old, can we have a birthday cake? Me, it's not your birthday. 3-year-old, the cake won't know. My dad has never had a cat but loves mine when he comes over to my house. He found a kitten crying outside a couple days ago who prefers sleeping like this. I hope he keeps it. A few weeks ago, one of my students started singing Every Kiss Begins With. Then a boy yelled consent, and I haven't stopped thinking about it since. If your boyfriend doesn't know how to change a tire, you should teach him or learn together, because that's a very important life skill for anyone who owns a vehicle. When I was a very small child, my mom used to bury coins in my sandbox, leave huge boot prints in the sand, and tell me pirates had come in the night and buried treasure. I would be out there happily for hours with my little sieve, and my mom got a quiet morning to herself for the price of a handful of pennies. I was always kind of skeptical about Santa the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy, because visiting every kid in the world did not seem reasonable. But the pirates only visited me, so they were probably real. So that's the story of how I ended up being an archaeologist. How about you? It's time, Chester. Life 2 of 9. Good kitty. I saw this beautiful man holding a phone with both hands looking at the screen, smiling. I was drawn by his joy and asked for a photo. He agreed, telling me he was talking to his wife back home. I asked if it was a video call. He said no, but I see her name on the screen. If she goes outside we shut the door and she hates it, so she keeps her butt inside to prevent this while she bird watches. Meet Sophie. When we were babies my dad was a stay-at-home dad while my mom kicked ass in the courtroom. But he would carry my twin brother and me around with one baby on the front and one on his back in backpacks. and women would come up and look at how cute I was and coo over me and be like, "Oh how cute, wow." And my dad would be like, "You know what's cuter than one baby?" And then he'd spin around and bam, there was my brother. I love everything about this. When my sister was 3 she would draw all over my walls. Now she is 12 and I realize she was just practicing. This is amazing. Your stress level is high. Follow me to the lab. I think between age 21 and 29 is a phase of hustle, suffering and smiling, depression, overthinking, wondering whether you'll achieve and make it in life. 90s babies hope you're alright. You will be okay someday. Hang in there. Don't lose hope. We can't keep it. My dad 10 months ago. When my parents went to Ireland with my grandfather who hadn't been there in 25 years, he took them to his favorite pub. When they went in, a guy at the bar said, "Oh god, he's back. My grandpa has a date tonight and he's really old and in a wheelchair and has to drag around this breathing machine. But he's just sitting there waiting for the hospice shuttle to take him to pick up his date. And he looks super excited and it's the cutest thing I've ever seen." Update. He came home and I asked him how it went and he said, "I should have taken an extra tank of oxygen because she took my breath away." Hey nerd. Nice sweater. Did your mom made that for you? Yeah she did. That's nice. My mom made this scarf for me. They sure know how to keep us warm. I did this on a plane once watching Jurassic Park. I noticed that the gentleman next to me was watching, so I turned on the subtitles. I was wearing an over-the-ear headset rather than earbuds, so I didn't offer to listen. When the drink cart came by, he ordered a water by typing the request as a note in his phone. He also typed a note in his phone to thank me for turning on the subtitles. It was a longer flight, so I let him pick the next movie. We watched both Jurassic Park and Fast 5 together, me hearing and him deaf. Both enjoying the films. Honestly, one of the best experiences I've had on a flight. My nan has dementia, and every day she meets my dog for the first time and falls in love with him over and over again. When I stopped at a crosswalk today, this guy pulled up next to me, rolled his window down, and stuck his head out, and at first I was like, "Oh no, street harassment, here it comes." But then the guy was like, "Dude, look at that huge rainbow behind you." The only appropriate thing for a dude to shout at me out a car window. Out of the over 400 episodes he did for his Joy of Painting series, he never collected a salary. "This is PBS," he said. "All the shows are done for free." And although he received over 200 fan letters a day, he read them all. When regular letter writers fell out of touch, he called them to just make sure they were doing okay. I mean, who says, "Oh, these orphan baby squirrels need a home. Hey, they can live with me," or "No thanks, I don't need a salary." In fact, all the proceeds from the sale of my paintings go back to PBS. And I haven't received a letter from Betty in Idaho in a while. I think I'll give her a ring and check up on her. Bob Ross, that's who. A precious national treasure and the epitome of kindness and compassion. Bank, visit our loan department. I'd like to borrow $2. What for? The circus is in town. It is. Why does this make me so happy every time I see it? Hey Pete, check this out. If you're smuggling weapons under there, I don't want to know. Yep. Oh my god. Made a fake computer so the cat stops fucking with me. Harvard University wants to know your location. This is actually A+ cat management. Mirroring is a big thing with cats. It's why they will lay in similar positions several feet apart, or will come and try to do things when you do them. It's a sign that they love you and want to show. This cat wants to be close to its owner, and also wants to do what its owner is doing, to be involved in some way. Giving them their own thing to use is a really great way to redirect them, and allow them to mirror the behavior in a non-disruptive way that frustrates neither party. This is a good idea. Made a fake computer so the cat feels loved and included in my life. Me, could I have a Pepsi? Waiter, is Pepsi okay? Oh my god. Eyes getting watery. Finally. Me, smiling through tears. Yeah. Thor meets Mr. Rogers. Just in case you were having a bad day, look how happy this raccoon is with his stuffed raccoon. My friend needed sweatpants in order to go in her lab and take a quiz, so I'm just chilling in the restroom for 50 minutes with booty shorts on. Not all heroes wear capes, some wear booty shorts. Bad sleeping, please use other door. Love yourself. Our cow wasn't feeling good, so last night, my son went outside to spend time with her. I woke up this morning and found this. Is you a Pokemon? I'm an ouch mouse. Doing me a fascinate. Breaking. The US Open to add puppies to the bold person team at the 2019 tournament for the first time. All breeds welcome. Sergeant Stubby, the most decorated dog of World War I and the only dog to be promoted by combat. He saved his regiment from mustard gas attacks, comforted the wounded, and notified his troop of oncoming artillery. After the war led parades across the country, met 3 presidents, and became a university mascot. My little boy's in the process of being tested for autism. He's 3 and rarely speaks a word that's understandable anyway, but he always says love you dad when I put him to bed. That will do me for the rest of my life. Those words mean the most out of any. My granddad just called me to tell me how big his cauliflowers are growing, and it was so cute. They're twice as big as the ones you get in the shop. I told my granddad this post has 3,500 notes and he said, who are they? Do I know them? He wanted me to list everyone and see if he knew anyone. If you don't reblog cauliflower granddad, then you're just a mean person. When you wear a new hat and someone mentions it, and it makes you feel nice. I can lighten your load by carrying a small part of it. Antidepressant. Somebody grilled this piece of onion and left it outside in the rain, and I honestly find it so inspiring. Roasted by those who claimed to want it and forgot it, and yet still it lives. It perseveres. Be like this onion. The local teens who flock to my dead-end street to smoke doobers in their cars have become as dear to me as the birds and squirrels I watch in the yard, and I'm tempted to set out a feeding station for them too with bugles and Gatorade. She fell asleep on me while we FaceTimed, so I drew her till she woke up. She needed the sleep and I needed the inspiration. Friend, wanna hang out tonight? Me, sorry I already made plans. My dog was extremely tired, but just had to follow me into the bathroom in the middle of the night. If you're having a bad day, just know this garlic bread loves and supports you and is proud you decided to stay alive another day. 9-year-old me, I need supplies for a project due tomorrow. Parents at 9:15 p.m. You knew about this project for a week and waited till the last day to tell me what you need for it. Go to bed. You're getting a 0. 5 minutes later. Parents, what do you need? I'm going to the store. He small. He brawl. But most importantly, he love you all. What a good morning. I'm gonna draw a dog. April Fools, I drew 2 dogs, they're best friends. The only good April Fool's joke. Shaggy and Scooby always run away side by side when fleeing from the monsters. Scooby is a Great Dane, and a running speed for that type of dog is 30 to 40 miles per hour. That means that Shaggy is the fastest human alive, which means that Usain Bolt's top speed, 27 miles per hour, is slower than Shaggy's. That or Scooby is purposely slowing down to stay near Shaggy, cause he's more afraid of losing Shaggy than he is of the monster. I don't know, I'm drunk. After an 80-year-old man in England moved into a retirement home, his 98-year-old mother moved into the same home so she could help take care of him. She said, "You never stop being a mum." My English teacher says we shouldn't refer to authors by their first names because they aren't our friends. Will you confirm our friendship and let me call you Neil on my American Gods book report? Neil Gaiman. Absolutely. I have overheard my 11-year-old planning April Fool's jokes for days. Instead, this morning, he decided to bring me breakfast in bed because he thought it would be more fun being nice. I had a man come to me and he said, "Bob, I could never paint because I'm colorblind." So I thought today we'd do a picture in grey, just to show you that anyone can paint. If you throw a cabbage in the air, he will always come right back down, because he miss you so much. Nobody. Canadians. Hello Laura, you look pretty fly. Hey. Sorry if that opening pun was a little plain. No problem. I was just winging it. So where are you from? Haha, I see none of those jokes really took off. Keanu Reeves was on a flight from San Francisco to LA on Saturday, and the plane had to land in Bakersfield, 100 miles short of LA, because of a mechanical issue. And instead of taking off like a typical celebrity, he organized a van to take them the rest of the way. Then he entertained the other passengers during the 2-hour drive by reading facts about Bakersfield, playing country music on his phone, and saying goodbye to passengers as they were dropped off. Too long didn't read. Life is weird. Try not to die on an airplane, but if you almost do it with Keanu Reeves. Hello human, I've been assigned to guard you. Skyrim Grandma Shirley Curry will be an NPC in the Elder Scrolls 6. Boyfriend was sad he didn't have a hat for the link he put together, so I made him one out of embroidery thread. Anyone watch Phineas and Ferb? Remember that one episode when Dr. Doofenshmirtz and Vanessa are riding a scooter to the mall, and some guy cat calls at Vanessa and Doof turns and is like, she's 16, and freaking shoots him with a gun that sends people to alien dimensions. A+ father. Netflix, you little flirt. Top pick for me, you. I only label the important things. You know what's wild? Remembering that children hear things for the first time without context and are literally like, what? I just said see you later alligator to a 4-year-old and I think it was the first time they had ever heard that. They froze in their tracks, looked at me completely bewildered, then replied, see you later chicken, and kept walking. My friend's 4-year-old put on a backyard puppet show for me, the sole audience member. Halfway through the show, she asked me if I liked it, and I replied, I can't wait to see what happens next. I'm on the edge of my seat. Hearing this, she carefully put down her puppets, came over to where I was sitting, and explained, you can use the whole seat, it's more comfy. I'm a school photographer and we got to take a service dog's picture for the yearbook today. Not all dogs are good boys, because some are good girls. The smile this dog gave during his first swim is priceless. A policeman noticed a sloth who was on a highway. He stopped and took it to a vet first and then returned it to its natural habitat. Sheep comforts dog after it protected their hair from wolves. Antonio LaCava drives a portable library around town to encourage children to read books. Every one of us in the coop has a purpose. We hens lay the eggs. The rooster crows. And then there's Carol. At first glance, she doesn't appear to do much. She never moves, and she cannot see. But every now and then. We are very grateful to Carol for the life-sustaining water she gives us. But Carol, herself. Carol is a mystery we may never hope to unravel. My boyfriend's childhood dog passed away and he was devastated. I decided to get him a gift he could love forever. They put a raincoat on Mamechi, a Tamagotchi, outside the Bandai HQ in Tokyo when it rains. You have been visited by Dr. Doggo. Like this video and subscribe to stay healthy. Today was meme day at my old high school for homecoming week. I appreciate this science teacher even more now. Rhinos are out of shape unicorns. Change my mind. If you know me, you know how much I love my hair, but I love my dad more. You got this, homie. Someone said Post Malone's mustache looks like two dogs kissing, and my life hasn't known peace since. Best story of the day. South Dallas Middle School started a breakfast with dads program, but many dads couldn't make it and several students didn't have father figures. The school posted a Facebook request for 50 volunteer fathers. 600 fathers from all backgrounds showed up. So I sold my daughter's slide yesterday on Facebook Marketplace. I asked the buyer, "How old are your kids?" She giggled and said, "No, it's for my pugs. They love to go up and down a slide. We are all mothers in our own way." Made my day. My dad passed away at 12:34 p.m. Every time I'd see that time on a clock, which wasn't as weirdly often, I'd think of that moment, and it would put me in a terrible mood. I decided that I didn't want to remember him dying, just to remember him. So now every time I see that time, I think about my dad and say hello to him in my head. 12:34 has always been my favorite time. Maybe I'll say hello to him too. The first time I ever did stand up in the high school talent show, my teacher was like, "I'm gonna see you on the Tonight Show one day," so I flew him out. Comedian Josh Johnson, #Black Pride. Reblog for the teachers who believe in you. This culture of digging up everybody's past to find ways to invalidate their current success is so sad, as if people don't grow and evolve. I swear it's the quietest people with the best personality. It's this kid that used to sit at a table by himself, real quiet, and used to have his jacket zipped all the way up to cover his face with his head down. We invited him to our table and he's one of the nicest people ever. I came to the table today and he was like, "I made y'all some cookies. Never judge a book by its cover, always give people a chance." Pooh and his friends were given as gifts by author A. Milne to his son Christopher Robin Milne between 1920 and 1922, who was purchased in London at Harrods for Christopher's first birthday. Christopher later gave them to publisher E.P. Dutton, who in turn donated them to the New York Public Library. Oh my god, this is them, guys. Wario, why are you so greedy? I'm a paying for my friend's chemotherapy. Wah. Oh look, Phineas, this one's looking at you. And this one's looking at your Ferb. Ferb, this one's looking at both of us at the same time. I didn't know this origin story, but it makes me happy on so many levels. UK airport sniffer dog's good at finding sausages, but not drugs. Let him have the sausages. I almost scrolled past this, like some kind of idiot. Asked my dog to be my best boy at my wedding. Anonymous person buys 1 million worth of remaining toys at Toys R Us to donate to children. I'm speechless for this kid. He wins Son of the Century. 13-year-old boy trades in Xbox, does yard work to buy his single mother a car. Did you know? MMA fighter Justin Wren left the octagon, and for the past 5 years, he's been fighting slavery and oppression in Africa. Wren has helped Iguanas for clean water, grow and harvest food, and buy back land that was taken from the Pygmy people. He's also working to replant trees in areas deforested by companies seeking to exploit the minerals there. Cody still gets the paper after all these years. Hope to all the hard parents. I'm the divorced parent of a 9 and 12-year-old, always up against Disneyland dad. I made peace a long time ago with the fact they will always hate me for the chores, homework and behavior rules I enforce. Tonight my 12-year-old told me I'm such a good mom. This, after I made them earn time for electronics by hanging up clothes and doing dishes. I said I was sorry, I'm not always fun, mom. My 12-year-old said, "It's okay mom, you are doing it for a good reason. To teach us about life." My heart be still as fall asleep. Maybe I'm not as horrible as I feel. My dad is an electrician in a zoo and look how he spent his morning. I'm crying. Your dad's small as hell. Ha, I'm a piece of trash. As someone who cares deeply about the environment, I'm obligated to pick you up. Is 7 okay? You smooth f***er. I wonder if an ape ever told a wolf, "You're gonna be my best friend one day." What is it, mom? Open it. A puppy. Wait, what kind of puppy doesn't have a leg? What's the point of a sick dog? This sucks. I don't want no puppy. I don't want anything. I hate you. You're not like the other dogs. You can't play. You're only there for people to feel sorry for you. Don't pretend you're happy. Gimme that. Now catch and get out of here. See, you're not like the others. It's no use, right? You don't care about your leg. You're happy anyway. Okay, let's play outside. Using the Drake format. Using forests to raise awareness about the alarming rate at which they are disappearing due to deforestation. All jokes aside, all the white people who aren't racist and actually love black people, just know we love you too, and I mean that shit from the bottom of my heart. Thank y'all for not hating us for absolutely no reason. My dad doesn't know how to turn off the heart feature and front facing camera, but wanted to show me his new stove. Surgeon Ted Rummel is paralyzed from the waist down after his illness. Even that doesn't stop him from saving people's lives. When it's April 2nd and your crush's confession isn't a joke. Somewhere in the world, at least one person is having the greatest day of their entire life. Congratulations. With a life expectancy of 70 years and 365 days per year, the average human leads 25,550 days in his life, with only one being the best. There are 7,600,000,000 human days lived each day. 7,600,000,000 divided by 25,550 approximately equals 297,456. There are approximately 300,000 humans having the greatest day of their entire life. Remember to take your meds. Meet Hurley. He's the curly one. He hugs every other dog he sees during his walk. Sometimes you just need two men. Corey and Craig. We are two men. We are burly. We'll do what you want. Yes, our bodies are strong, but our friendship is stronger. We have been friends for over 14 years. Of course there have been ups and downs, but we always come to terms with our differences, because friendship like this comes once in a lifetime. By hiring us you will receive not just the strength of our bodies but the strength of our emotional bond as well. Friendship 100. Concerned dog refuses to stop hugging his owner who was injured in a fall. I'm literally in love with the fact I get to see how my little cousins interact even with a language barrier. On my mom's side I have a 3-year-old little cousin who only speaks French, and on my dad's side I have a 2-year-old cousin who only speaks Spanish. When they play together it is so funny to see them blabber on and onto each other until one of them hears a word that sounds familiar, and then they just repeat that word and nod like they are totally connecting. Like today the one that speaks Spanish said, "Venga a pon los pantalones en la muñeca," and the other heard pantalones and was just like, "We, pantalon." They're best friends and it's the cutest and funniest thing I've ever seen. Hey, you okay? Not really. Want to talk about it? Not really. A nurse discovers that the premature baby she cared for 28 years ago is now her colleague. I've been waiting on this couple, 94 and 95 years old, at the diner for the last 5 years. Yesterday Bob lost his wife of 77 years. Today he invited me for cheese, wine and crackers, and I think I learned more about love and life today than I have in the past 23 years. My grandma made me a sweater and the left side is bigger than the right, but I don't care. I love it so much. She is so wholesome and pure. And this is my new favorite sweater. The Success Kid meme saved the kid's dad life after it became popular. Because the meme was so popular, many people donated for the kidney transplant. You suck. You're right. I shall improve. My dad is recovering from an operation. Mum went out and left the door slightly ajar. My parents do not have a cat. Police officer throws surprise party for bullied boy after no one showed up on his birthday. Nobody cares until you're dead. Sorry to break it to you, but nobody cares then either. Elmo cares, man. Elmo thinks you're a good person. People on the street lose their minds when Pancake wears her raincoat. Her name is Pancake. Her name is Pancake. Her name is Pancake. Record 4,855 people queue in the rain for hours to see if they are a stem cell match for boy 5. Battling rare cancer after his parents launched desperate plea in hope of saving his life. I hope the first image of black hole appears as predicted by my theory. Don't worry, Einstein. It will. We all trust in you. I had a student who was late to class come up to me afterward. I'm sorry I was late, he said. My mom died this morning and I didn't know where to go, so I came here. And that was the day I decided to treat every single student as if I have no idea what they are going through. He's cured. Actually, if you look at the heart monitor, he's flatlining. He's cured. A miracle. Check it out. Winston fell asleep. I'll get a marker. Quiet please. Nap in progress. In June 2005, a 12-year-old girl was snatched by 4 men in rural southwest Ethiopia as she made her way home from school. A week after the kidnapping, her captors were attempting to move her, with police in hot pursuit, when 3 lions chased the men off. The lions remained with the terrified girl until police officers arrived to escort her to safety. She told them that although she had been beaten by her kidnappers, who it is believed had been attempting to sell her into a forced marriage, the lions had not touched her. This is Maggie, my granddad's old girl. She doesn't get as much attention anymore, but she always brings you a leaf. You can't have the leaf. She just wants you to be proud. When someone says your sweater is nice, and you feel nice. Me, come to Ontario. Terry Fox, can't. It's 5,373 kilometers away. Me, people will donate to cancer research if you do. Terry Fox. Being a boy must be hard, like they have to text us first and buy us food, and always look cute with no makeup and have nice cars and a steady job, and be tall and impress parents and friends and brothers and sisters, and hide boners and be good at sex like automatically, and be a gentleman always and never be in a bad mood. Like, I'm sorry men, you have it hard, I love you all. Carefully, she's a hero. Unfollow IG models and influencers. Start following artists and designers. Your entire outlook on life will change. You will be reminded less about your insecurities. You will be reminded more of what you love, about what humans are capable of creating. People been telling me I look like Ryan Gosling. What y'all think? My man's posted 2 photos of Ryan Gosling, like we wouldn't notice. An American woman never learned what happened to her husband, whose plane was shot down over Levens, France during World War II. She finally got her congressman to reopen his case in 2011. She was shocked to learn the town had been memorializing him and his sacrifice for 67 years. I'm gonna start a street gang of friendly thugs who jump strangers with compliments and assault unsuspecting homeless people with hot lunches and hugs. To find buried treasure. Man digs 12 feet deep hole without realizing his metal detector was picking up his steel toe cap safety boots. The treasure was in him the whole time. What is the best part of your day? Coming home from work to cuddle my newborn son. Did you know you can't breathe in when you smile? Just kidding. I just wanted to make you smile. My mum always made me a birthday cake every year for 44 years. 2 months since she died and my old dad tried his hardest and my heart melted. Who is this? You tell me. I don't know. I don't have this number saved. Me neither. You just texted me a question mark so I responded with one. Oh, I had a missed call from this number earlier today, hence the question mark. Weird. I have no outgoing calls today. Hope I'm not hacked. If you're the hacker, please reconsider. Well, I'm glad I didn't answer. Could have hacked me. Anyway, sorry to bother you, friend. Have a nice evening. Sorry to bother you. We've come a long way together. Take care, friendly anonymous stranger. Have a good one. Well, she and I have made it 30 years today. There have been some touch and go moments, but we are closer now than we have ever been. Her motorcycle accident nearly put an end to things. It changed a lot and it clarified a lot. Now she forgets our anniversaries and I have a lot of fun reminding her I'm no longer in trouble for slipping a day or two. I love you, girl, even with your wonky eye and jimpy leg. Looking forward to another 30. Anonymous person buys $1 million worth of remaining toys at Toys R Us to donate to children. This photo is from 1955. It was called A Few Seconds Before Happiness. After needing 13 liters of blood for a surgery at the age of 13, James Harrison pledged to donate blood once he turned 18, after discovering that his blood contained a rare antigen which cures rhesus disease. James Harrison for 6 decades donated his blood and saved the lives of over 2.4 million babies. This picture is of his last blood donation. He is surrounded by mothers whose babies he helped save. When it's bedtime but you remember it's weekend. Happiness noise. When you come home from a stressful day at school and your mom already made soup to warm you up. This is some serious gourmet shit. I didn't put monsters under your bed to scare you. I put them there because I know you get lonely at night. Thanks, Satan. A cold room plus a thick comforter equals. Then turning the fan on to add a little razzle dazzle. Literally any monster in existence. My dad tucking 5-year-old me in bed. He's not even remotely sorry. My mom just sent me this and it seriously lifted my mood. Wanted to post it here in case anyone else needs it. What are you throwing away? Oh, just some old ideas and beliefs that were taking up too much space. Arm extension because T-Rex needs hugs. For at least 13 years, rain or shine, this little old man spends every morning walking around our tiny town picking up trash. Every morning in Frankfurt, Germany, you might catch a glimpse of Jenny, a horse who goes on a long walk every morning all by herself. She has been taking the same route every morning for 14 years, ever since her owner, now 79 years old, became unable to ride. She enjoys greeting all of the familiar faces along the way and she stops and gets treats and pettings from some of her favorite humans. The locals treat her like a celebrity and happily clean up after her. A piece of paper is attached to her halter that reads, "My name is Jenny, I didn't run away. I'm just walking, thank you." But the police get calls frequently from people who don't know about the arrangement. They are very familiar with the horse and the owner, and there have been no incidents in 14 years. A local veterinarian gives her routine checkups and continues to find her to be healthy and showing no anxiety about her unique lifestyle. What would your 15-year-old self be the most surprised about you now? That someone actually married me. She donated 30 inches of her hair to make wigs for children with cancer. Cried because he was cold so I gave him an extra blanket. Cried more so I tucked him in. Got himself comfy. Settled in. Cried again because his fish got lost in the comforter. Got him his fish. Went right to sleep. Who's the coolest kid on the playground? Say it. Bobby. Who? I can't hear you. Bobby. That's right. I want to see that self-esteem up by lunch recess tomorrow. Bobby. When you see a baby crying on the bus and make funny faces at her till she stops crying, this will be the end of waayyy. What information you want? None. I'm just donating $3. In 2013, George Clooney surprised 14 friends with $1 million each. They were friends who helped him before he became famous. Some were living paycheck to paycheck at the time. He also paid for the taxes. I just got an email from my 8th grade biology teacher congratulating me on my PhD. She helped me do a science fair project on the antioxidant content of honey that made me believe I could be a scientist when I grew up. Mentorship and representation really does matter. Definitely had the most handsome date at prom. I love you with all my heart. Save a dance for me up there in heaven. Cool advice from Dark Souls. Age only affects appearance and has no bearing on ability. Gender has no bearing on ability. Everyone has imperfections. Prejudice births malcontents. Become a dark spirit. Time for crab. Be 11-year-old me. Minecraft 1.0 comes out. Want to get it. Mom doesn't get me it at first. Feels bad.png. Easter rolls around. Mom hands me a paper. It's a username and password. Mom got me an account for Easter. Thanks mom. Play Minecraft all the time. Make lots of memories and friends playing Minecraft. Fast forward to now. Re-download Minecraft for the hell of it. Look around for paper with username and password. Find it. Username is my name spelled backwards. Lol. Password. Love mom. Love you mom. The man pet the dog. You should not hit dogs. Wholesome 100. What's your dirty little secret? I secretly watch my friend's streams and support him without him knowing by using a different account. He gets very few viewers, so I talk to him throughout the stream to keep his spirits up. We should make more memes in dark mode so you don't get blinded browsing at night. This town ain't big enough for the two of us. Afraid you're right, partner. I have now been alive for more than 1 billion seconds. Which one was the best? The 5 it took to write this response to you. My mom gave me her own baby blanket when I was born to be my baby blanket. She told me that one day if she wasn't feeling good to bring it back to her. I gave her her blanket back tonight and she said, "You remembered. Help someone smile today." Oh my god, my brother went on his first date tonight. This makes my heart so happy. So romance is dead after all. I'm out having dinner and this woman outside was being blinded by the sunset, so her date propped a menu behind his head, on the collar of his shirt, to block the sun from her eyes, and I'm sobbing. Are you awake? I found you unconscious in the woods and brought you to my hut. Let me make you something to eat. Wanna have some candy? My very first customer, wow. Today I saw an elderly man sitting outside of his car, spoon feeding his wife ice cream. Swiss billionaire donated $1 billion to save the earth. Happiness noise. Just look at me now. Just got my fiddler's cap. Fits perfect. I just love it. Very comfortable and good looking. My new favorite hat of all time. Anchors away matey. I went to lunch with friends and saw my husband at the restaurant. I was going to say his name but he was staring at his phone, so I watched him. He was smiling. He typed. Then my phone dinged. And it was a video he forwarded of a dog wrestling a water hose. Stop. Don't shoot. Nice try. This morning I went to Chick-fil-A for breakfast and my total came out to $6.66. So the cashier changed the total to $6.26 and gave me a large lemonade for free. The devil be working hard, but damn do Chick-fil-A employees work harder. Observe my dangle strings. So ceremonial. I'm going to throw my hat. This will be emotional. Stand behind me because of traditional letter sequence. I remember this lesson. My knowledge surfaces. We smack our hands. I just really think we should normalize sword gifting as a romantic gesture again. Can you imagine having someone go to the finest blacksmith they find to completely customize you a blade, showing their undying love and respect for you? When everyone is laughing at you except your crush. This is fine. Two gorillas pose with the anti-poaching rangers who guard them. First picture I see is if we being real. My husband was such a huge Marvel fan. He made me watch all the movie in order. When we first started dating, he was so excited to see Endgame. He had so many theories about what happened. He passed away 6.5 months ago, and one of the hardest things for me is that he won't get to know what happens to the Avengers. It breaks my heart over and over, but I'll be there. I'll be there with my tissues on April 26th seeing it for both of us, because he would want me to be there. Give me all your money. I don't have any money. I'm in debt. Well, give me all your debt. Now you go home and you get your life together. You can read memes because your hard-working teachers have taught you English. Maybe he didn't want to go to the dance with you because your hair is too red. What? That's so mean. Don't get mad at me. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Whoa, don't blame this on me. I think your hair looks great just how it is. Or thanks Satan. Drunk, got the Domino's guy to buy me McDonald's in the special instructions section. My faith in pizza guys has gone up 123%. Growth is messy. Growth is slow. Growth has setbacks. Growth takes work. Growth takes love. Growth is worth it. I work at a small family-owned Italian restaurant and my boss lets me study when we're slow. So he brought me a small pizza and said, "Snack while you study." I worked a 12-hour shift today and he fed me 3 times and made me a sandwich to take home. He's an angel walking among us. His shell was badly damaged, so a group of volunteers made him a new one with a 3D printer. The group call themselves the Animal Avengers, and as you can see, their skills are superhuman. The new shell fitted Freddy perfectly, but it needed a little color. So the team hand painted it to look as natural as possible. It looks just as good as the real thing. The Animal Avengers assemble includes 4 vets, 1 dental surgeon, and a 3D designer. The real Avengers are nothing compared to this superhero team. When you're mad at your wife but know she's a good woman and she deserves nice stuff. You got everything. Keys, wallet, yes. Friendship, happiness, reasonable amounts, stability, on and off, snacks, yes. My grandmother promised all of us if she made it to 90 she would get a pink mohawk. Well, she made it to 90, rock on grandma. For the very first time in my life, a tall person stood in front of me at a concert, looked back, asked, "Can you still see?" and then answered themselves with, "Of course you can't, I'm like 6 feet tall," and then moved. I wish so many blessings on their house. My sister is in Egypt for work and had no mates to see the pyramids with, so took her Uber driver with her instead. For all depressed people out there, you are not alone. I did it. Saw a little girl with a fold-out table in her front yard. I asked her what's she selling. She said drawings. I said pick one and I'll buy it. She handed me one and said it will be 25 cents. I almost caught a manly tear in one eye, gave her $20 and said follow your dreams. When you realize no you can be used for complimenting people. A little girl from China covered a cat on the street with leaves because she was afraid that the cat would catch a cold. I hope this girl is having a great day. I think about her a lot. Sat next to a young guy on a flight to Chicago who was using the most broken and busted old iPhone I've ever seen. I asked if I could send him my old iPhone 10 and he looked at me like I was crazy, but I'm a man of my word. Merry Christmas, boss. Guy I sat next to on Southwest flight. 2-year-old needed a $20,000 wheelchair, but his parents couldn't afford one and insurance wouldn't pay for it, so local high school robotics team got to work and built him one instead. If a random stranger walked up to you on the street and said, "I'll now do absolutely anything you tell me," what would you say? Have a great day. Tell me your deepest desires. I want to support my family by doing what I love while making a positive impact on the world. My 4-year-old son thinks he's a ninja, so my wife took a before picture and showed him. He absolutely thinks he's completely invisible in front of our black appliances. Man helps pay for girl's medical school after earthquake. 11 years later she saves his life. Me, who's a good boy. My dog. Well, of course I know him. He's me. Our ex-marine teacher has a student draw a cat of the day on the board because he likes to. He was gone Friday and wasn't able to, so this morning he took out his phone and opened Nico Atsum and drew a substitute cat. I love this teacher. Burger King releases unhappy meal because no one is happy all the time. McDonald's. I was at the gym today and heard this middle-aged guy running on the treadmill next to me whisper, "Speed, I'm speed," and he started running faster. Speed 100. Me, does literally anything. My grandma. Incredible job. Little known historical fact. Pharaohs were buried with their hands crossed over their chests because it was a popular belief there would be countless water slides in the afterlife. Breaking. Deaf man adopts deaf rescue puppy and teaches him sign language. This random kid waits for me on the side of the road every single day so he can race my car. I'll let him win until he gets too tired after about 3 minutes. This is now our little tradition. It's the highlight of my day every day. A woman trying to commit suicide from the Eiffel Tower landed on a car and later married the owner of the car. So, she fell in love. Restoration 100. If you see me looking homeless in Walmart, it's because my boyfriend has upped my confidence to its max level, and you can't convince me I don't look bomb as f***ing BBQ sauce stained sweatpants. I'm in Gunpo, South Korea. I found a guy in Montevideo, Uruguay on Reddit, the exact opposite side of the world. Today we made an earth sandwich. 8 AM for me, 8 PM for him. I love the internet. Sweden is so good at recycling. It has run out of garbage and now must import garbage from Norway to fuel its energy programs. DJ Khaled, suffering from success. The train station that stayed open for a single schoolgirl finally closes down. Carefully, it's a hero. Most of you know Cheddar has medical issues and tears through his bandages. Pet clothes are expensive, so I made him a flannel out of an old sleeve. What is a dirty little or big secret about an industry that you have worked in that people outside the industry really ought to know? I work with kids at a daycare, and we see babies take their first steps sometimes, but we never tell the parents because we don't want them to feel bad about missing it. Customer with a full shopping cart in front of me. You go first. Me with only 2 items. Only advice you'll ever need. Be the person your dog thinks you are. Man allegedly bench presses goose for 10 minutes at LA Park. Goose allegedly loves it. Accidentally played dead instead of dad when I encountered a bear, and now it can ride a bike without training wheels. My daughter volunteering at our local shelter, helping feed the puppies. If you are feeling sad, here's a husky on coconut tree. Me talking about something boring. That one friend who always listens to what you have to say and actually cares. How come all good things have to end? Why can't they last forever? Time is an illusion that helps things make sense. It took 96 weeks and thousands of volunteers to clean up Versova Beach in Mumbai, India. The payoff? Hundreds of thousands of sea turtles hatching this week. First time in decades. Anything can be cleaned. Before. After. Dog climbing on top of me. Here I shall slumber. Me. Why? It's uncomfortable. Dog must protect me. There's nothing dangerous here. Dog. Loneliness is dangerous. Street singer was ignored by everyone. Then 4 kittens came to show their support. When you play Minecraft on PC for the first time in 4 years and see all the new updates. Me. I'll have the fries. Wife. I'll upgrade to a salad. Food comes out. But it's okay because I love her and support her attempt at making healthier food choices. My dad has just figured out how to use the front camera. This is the first picture he sent. Guy gives up subway seat for pregnant woman. She gives him a trophy. Number 1 decent dude. First man to offer subway seat to pregnant woman throughout 2 pregnancies. When I was younger, my friends would ask me how to say all sorts of profanities in my native language. What I told them actually meant I love you. They thought they were insulting each other, but I knew. Borat had everyone from the Marvel Cinematic Universe to sign this Captain America shield. It sold for $53,000 with 100% of the proceeds going to Children's Mercy, because that's what heroes do. When people start making shark memes to spread awareness that they're on the verge of extinction. Happy shark noises. This boy was quietly watching a man play a game on his phone. As soon as he noticed, he let him play. I was wondering why my husband wasn't cuddling me. My grandma spends 4 or 5 hours each day learning English, so that it's easier to hold a conversation with me. If this isn't love, then I don't know what is. Being happily married is like having a sleepover with your best friend every night for the rest of your life. Giggle behind blanket. So, who do you have a crush on? Wife. For f***'s sake. Before and after I signed good boy to my deaf dog. One day you'll wake up at 11:30 AM on a Sunday with the love of your life, and you'll make some coffee and pancakes and it'll all be alright. Fact, I tried to kill myself when I was 18, and yesterday at 26 I woke up to this exact thing. This gives me so much hope. I asked my 5-year-old to keep an eye on his sister while I served him dinner. I peek out of the kitchen and find him like this. I have been using Spotify to secretly spy on my friend. One of my closest friends names her Spotify playlist with specific names. One of her playlists is called Sad Lady Hours, and every time I see her actively listening to it, I shoot her a hopefully inconspicuous text asking what she is up to, that I love her, etc. I hope she never notices the pattern. Dad, son, you're adopted. Kid at the adoption center. People who declined a proposal. Why did you do it? We were on the verge of a breakup when he asked. We'd been having problems for a few years. His idiot friend told him it was a good idea to propose and that it would make everything magically better. I told him no. We broke up and I moved away for a while. As they say, absence makes the heart grow fonder. It was true in our case. We were able to work things out. I moved back and 2 years later we got married. We've been together for 24 years, have 2 daughters, and 1 grandchild. In a private cemetery in small town Arkansas, a woman single-handedly buried and gave funerals to more than 40 gay men during the height of the AIDS epidemic, when their families wouldn't claim them. Lemon sharks may occasionally get possessive of divers giving attention to other sharks, and try to chase off any tiger sharks of whom the lemons might be jealous. When you got a nice hat and somebody mentions it. when you accidentally open the front camera, but you're cute so it doesn't matter. I just found out that my husband fills the dog's water dish not from the tap, but from the fridge's water purifier feature. She'd do the same for me, he said. In 1981 a pediatrician saved the life of a 3.2 pound premature baby boy by working around the clock and beating the odds to stabilize him. In 2011 the same pediatrician was pinned inside a burning vehicle after a car collision, but was saved by a paramedic, who turned out to be the premature baby he saved 30 years earlier. Whenever I'm sad, I text this girl to show me her cat. I'm sad, can you show me your cat? Hey, yeah, sure, what's wrong? I know Gina's don't have feet, but you left some big shoes to fill. Rest in peace Robin, and thank you, love the artwork. Will Smith being a bro. I know we give the new Genie a lot of crap, but in reality Will is probably trying seriously hard to make Robin Williams proud, and I respect that. Drug dealers and cartels could make a lot of money if they could figure out a way to manufacture insulin and sell it for cheaper than pharmacies. Men, what cute thing has your significant other done recently? In the middle of the night, she turned to me and asked in a quiet voice, would you like to hear some facts about the Hawksbill sea turtle? I didn't even know she was awake. That's hilarious. Got, you're a fire ant. Fire ant, what does that mean? Got, when you bite something, it burns like fire. Fire ant, gasp, you mean I'm a dragon? Got, what? No. Fire ant, I'm the teensiest dragon. Thank you strange neighbor, now none of these three things will dry well. A couple weeks ago I was at Starbucks and a homeless guy came in. One of the employees apparently befriended him. She greeted him like a friend and already knew he wanted water. It's free. Today I was at the same Starbucks, and the homeless guy was working at the cash register. I love how dogs do stupid things and look so proud. My grandpa is pure love. My pot of gold under the rainbow. This viewpoint in Naples has a handrail that describes the view in Braille. Japan, bus drivers in Okayama have gone on strike by continuing to drive their routes while refusing to take fares from passengers. Japan is on another level of its own strike that won't affect the people but the corporations that own the buses. Good one. This pretty girl turns 15 today, so we took her to the beach. Pranking women in public by respecting their distance and not bothering them. An ice cream cone ordering an ice cream cone from an ice cream cone. Reddit, what is the most intelligent thing your pet had ever done? My cat yawned, so I stuck a finger in his mouth. He sort of stared at me curiously as he shut his mouth, but didn't bite down hard. A few minutes later, he's sitting on my chest and I yawn. He proceeds to put his whole paw in my mouth. So I call an Uber and the guy drives a really fancy car and I'm confused. Turns out, he's a senior exec at Goldman Sachs and he's German. Moved to New Orleans 5 years ago. So why Uber? It's the best way for me to learn English, and I meet wonderful people while doing it. The greatest character arc of our generation. 0 subscriber speckle. It finally came. My friend has been trying to start a YouTube channel for a few months now. Every couple months I make a new account to subscribe and like his videos to keep him motivated. It ain't much, but it's honest work. My new life goal is to be hugged by an otter. With no education, no father, no training, and few role models, they handed this young poor dirt kid $420,000 per week at the age of 18. Married his high school sweetheart, never arrested, never used drugs, never humiliated his wife with outside girl stories, no outside babies like many other professional athletes, never in the news with so much as a parking ticket, excellent father, greatest player on the planet. 15 years later, same dude, same maturity, same chick, same family, reputation intact, now earning over $2 million per week. Has sent 1,100 plus kids to college fully paid for. Ladies and gentlemen, LeBron James. Small cloud doesn't a woo. Thank you for visiting, little friend. I love you. I'm not lost, just visiting. Me walking to my desk in the exam hall, knowing damn well I don't know shit. Blind people of Reddit, what do you find sexually attractive? I'm not blind, but my wife is. She says she doesn't know. She says she finds me attractive. She just added, strong arms. I like feeling the muscles in your arms. She added that pre-vision loss, she would have not paid attention to this. She also adds that she can't see me, but can sense when I'm looking at her lovingly. I told her I was really scowling. I read this to her before posting. She approves. Here's Bob Ross holding a baby raccoon to brighten your day. Rare pictures of your smiling. My dad's name is Aaron, so when I was little and he said he was going to run errands, I heard errands and figured that adults just called the chores they had to do by their own name, and to this day I still secretly think of my chores as Ellie's. Some random parent, say thank you. Little baby, thank you, me. I sent my parents a picture of the sunset in Japan. They sent me a picture 20 minutes later of the sunrise from Florida. This is why the world is beautiful. Maybe it's just me, but I find this cool as your kid says hi, the sun. I bought my hamster a little bed and now we do everything together. I just wanna know why my clothes only get caught on the door handle when I'm in a bad mood. Door knows and is trying to hug you. Hey, can I come in and listen please? I'll be quiet. I won't touch anything. When someone says, haven't you eaten enough? My cat is dead. If love could have saved your cat from dying, then he would have lived forever, but he will always live inside of your heart, and that is a beautiful thing to remember. Going to Subway at 7 years old like, Dad, just point to what you want on your sandwich. 7-year-old me. Someone's cow just walked over and fell asleep on my legs, and now I can't move or I'll wake her up. This guy found himself on an empty airplane, so he took a picture of himself in every seat and photoshopped them together. Hey, here's your ball back. Oh no, don't worry, I'll get it. Humans are so clumsy. There's a restaurant in New York called Enetica Maria that doesn't employ chefs but employs grandmas. Every day a different grandma from around the world designs a fresh menu, honoring her native cuisine. It's okay if you fall apart sometimes. Tacos fall apart and we still love them. The last 2 runners in the Pittsburgh Marathon not letting each other quit. There's this girl in my class who's been carrying this 6x6 Rubik's Cube since the first day of school, and today she finally finished it, so we all started applauding, and she was so overwhelmed she ended up crying. The Looney Tunes Golden Collection DVDs have a disclaimer at the beginning given by Whoopi Goldberg. She explains that the cartoons are a product of their time and contain racial and ethnic stereotypes that have not been censored, because editing them would be the same as denying that the stereotypes existed. Giving your Lyft driver 5 stars even when they f up, because we all make mistakes. Someone just dropped me this during my lunch break. Corgi would like to share a photo. If you're feeling overwhelmed and anxious today, remember that this is Lel and Melvin's official NASA picture. My super distant uncle in Vietnam waves to me every month to check up. Carl's camping in the woods. Say hi to Carl. Sunday I found a kitten at the zoo and brought it home. I was afraid that my parents would get mad at me, but today I caught my father showing the family photos to the kitten. Someone might have liked your meme enough to save it on their phone. I love this. So I work at Taco Bell. Today I was having a very rough day. Then this guy pulls up. "Thank you, random citizen, for making my day much better. You may turn your back on the world, but I won't turn mine on you. If you can have the power to shapeshift, who would you shapeshift to first? Not who, but what. I would shapeshift into my dog and try out all of her favorite sitting spots, napping spots, doggy bed, water bowl, and toys. I'd want to see how these items feel, and if they need to be improved. I'd also be interested in knowing just how well she can see out of the window, and if she needs a little chair to get a better view." So my mom accidentally ordered an excess dog bed, but he's still grateful. Boys need to be cuddled more. Put his head in your lap or on your chest. Stroke his hair. Scratch his back lightly with your nails. Rub his shoulders. Kiss him on the top of his head. Anytime. Not just when he's feeling down or trying to fall asleep. When I did this to my boyfriend for the first time, he almost started crying because no one had ever done something similar to him before, and I think that is awfully sad. Using the Drake format. Using the Pikachu format that I just made because he is adorable and makes you smile. Did Boaty McBoatface teach them nothing? Council asks for names for its two new road gritters and the public answers with Gritsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow and D-Slip Matchingy and David Ploe. It's stuff like this that really makes me appreciate humanity as a whole. Still can't believe I found the same guy I took this photo with 13 years ago. When you return home from college for the summer and your dog greets you in the same loving way he always did before. I'm still worthy. What is the dumbest thing you believed as a child? I thought Michael Jackson has to stop whatever he is doing and sing when I play his CD. As a result, I never played it at night to give him some family time. When I hold doors for people. Kids. Teenagers. Thanks. Adults. Thank you. Old people, why thank you, you're so kind. Everyone look at this young man helping out the community. Woo, this generation is so polite and kind. I would play bingo with this young man any day. God bless your beautiful soul. What do you think happens when we die, Keanu Reeves? Laughter. I know that the ones who love us will miss us. It sounds fake, but you really do have a lot of silent lovers on this planet who look at you and wish they had your smile, your hair, your humor, your manners, your intentions, your poise, or are simply cheering you on. Some are just too shy to tell you they admire you. Remember that when you feel alone. When the Chris's have a meeting and declare the one true superior Chris. Can we agree that Chris Pratt is the worst of all Chris's? Chris Hemsworth, no, he's the best of us. Chris Evans, he's better than all of us. Brain scans show that not only do dogs love us back, they also see us as family. Men of Reddit, what makes you feel manly? Carrying my sister's kids, 2 nephews and a niece, around. They always ask me to pick them up whenever I see them, so I started lifting weights a couple years ago just so that I could continue doing it as they got bigger. It worked out as I intended. I got a lot stronger and now the boys are 9 years old and I can still carry one of them under each arm. They love it since their mother can't pick them up anymore, and their happiness makes me feel good too. This 90-year-old grandma in the Czech Republic spends her free time painting beautiful artwork on the sides of houses. A male client jumped on me and started licking me everywhere. I work at a vet though, so it's okay. They had us in the first half, not gonna lie. 2004. 2019. Friendship 100. When the squad are acting all tough, but you're just happy to be a part of it. She's beautiful. And way out of my league. No worries, I'll be your wingman. My mom worked hard today. She deserves a microwaved hot dog. You earned it, mom. My host mom in Japan referred to her Roomba as Roomba-san, and when it would get stuck she would just look over it and softly say, "Ganbate Roomba-san, Ganbate," as it made distressed beeping noises at her. Ganbate. Cheer up, be courageous, do your best. Best Halloween story ever. I grew up in a college town, and one Halloween our doorbell rang and we opened the door expecting to see trick-or-treater, but what was in front of our open door was another door, like a full-on wooden door, that had a sign that said, "Please knock." So we did, and the door swung open to reveal a bunch of college dudes dressed as really old grandmothers, curlers in their hair etc., who proceeded to coo over our costumes and tell us we were such cute trick-or-treaters. One even pinched my cheek, then they gave us candy, closed their door, picked it up, and walked to the next house. Mrs. Thanks for being my teacher for a year. I might fail but it's not your fault. Possibly the most sincere end of year message I've ever received. When I was in the city last week, these 3 Irish men asked me to take a photo of them, but none of them had phones. You'll take the picture and we'll find it someday. So if by some strange turn of events anyone knows these guys, here's their photo. Me when I do something silly that makes my nephew laugh. Wanna see me do it again? If you don't say bless you to your pet after they sneeze, are you even a pet owner? Hey guys, wanna know something cute? My mom will text me 99 to say good night, because 99 sounds like night night when you say in a Vietnamese accent. Wholesome gold for Yasso 99. Do you know why birds sing just before dawn? Scientists believe it's to tell their mates that they made it through the night, as a way of saying, "I'm still here." Maybe that's why we sing too, why we create art, as a way of saying, "I made it, I'm still here." My mom ordered 2 different pizzas from 2 different places cause she had coupons, and they both got here at the same time. So we had a Pizza Hut delivery guy and a Domino's delivery guy both standing by our front door, and the Domino's guy looks at the Pizza Hut guy and proceeds to sing "Why Can't We Be Friends," while the Pizza Hut guy just glares at him. Just learned our 9-year-old did an experiment on us. Lost tooth, told no one for 3 days, kept tooth under his pillow, no money. Then he tells us he lost the tooth. Next night there is money under his pillow. Then confronted us with his scientific evidence that the tooth fairy isn't real. Science 100. When she's the eater your whore. Endgame humanizes Thor as he went through trauma and depression. After all that he was still worthy of Mjolnir. Depression does not take away your value as a god or even as a human. A boy just ran up to the live truck and said, "Can you report my smile?" "Yes we can, Cameron." My dad who doesn't want anything to do with the dog. Kitten won't stop smiling after being rescued. On his way to make your day better. This is incredible. Mother passed away 9 years ago and she mentioned she'd be a yellow butterfly one day. For 9 years I have been mesmerized every time I see one, but I have never been close enough to touch one. Today, this happened. Happy Mother's Day, Mama. My dad said he found a frog in the bathroom and needed me to get it. This is what I saw. Lots of banging noises outside. I find my Romanian neighbors have rebuilt my fence which had fallen down a while ago. When I offered money and beer as gratitude, they said it was better to do nice things rather than expect something. Bloody foreigners coming here and building fences. Help an old guy out. What is a trinner? Slang for trying to. Lol, that's what I figured. I'm just trying to fit in. 2-year-old needed a $20,000 wheelchair, but his parents couldn't afford one and insurance wouldn't pay for it, so local high school robotics team got to work and built him one instead. I was having a bad day and this dog walked to my bus stop, sat on the bench and asked me for pets. The UPS guy doesn't know my other dog died, so he still brings 2 dog treats whenever he brings packages.